All right, GKG here for another Myth podcast. I'm joined by Asmo. We're going to cover the recent MWC 2026 finals. Before we jump into the films, Asmo, how do you want to kind of set up this match and the tournament overall?
Um, the teams this year are quite a bit different from usual, I guess, or at least from the previous year. Me, Asmodian, GKG, and LSO, Lord Scarial, we teamed up for the first time ever, and I guess that's something we've been wanting to do to test out some things, and we're end up playing against a squad that's been similar to other squads that have played in the recent past. It's sort of like I don't even know how to describe them, but it's Tirri, Akira, Thal. Those people have all teamed together a lot.
Yeah, I guess the way I would describe it, like we've played against that team, or at least I have, many times over the years. It's not too different from its previous iterations. Notably, Genghis was out this year. I don't know. Did Genghis play last year? I don't even
No,
remember.
he didn't. He was on the
No.
roster,
Okay.
but he didn't play.
Okay. So Genghis has been out for 2 years now, which is definitely unfortunate. We hope to see him again at some point. Um, but overall, pretty familiar. I guess you had Ephemeral, aka Naracoorte, join that roster for the first time. Well, I guess they did play with kind of 2020. Some of those players are on the 2020 roster that with you, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, F was on the 2020 roster. I wouldn't say the 2020 roster was similar to this team we're playing. This team that we're
right.
playing reminds me of like the rat-sized cats that I think teamed together for like 2 or 3 tournaments.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. 2020 is quite different. It only had like a few of the players, but um, yeah, I would say the way I would describe this tournament is, you know, you, LSO, and I kind of went into it wanting the team together. Actually, initially, we asked LSO to form another team. We thought the three of us teaming would be maybe a bit too much, since the three of us usually captain teams ourselves. And there's not many team organizers and team captains in general, but we did want to team together, and we were surprised that there was two other contending teams that formed kind of before we even had a chance. Like they formed super early, it seems like. So that was good to see. In Well, we can talk about more about the hindsight of that, but yeah, I'll just leave it there. Like I would say, like this is one of the few years I will genuinely admit to team stacking, and only because I just wanted a team with you and also that was the only real reason I wanted to stack, or would consider that stacking. I don't normally like to stack, but I have no regrets about it. So we probably we may not do it again next year. It may not like be like a dynasty thing, but it was okay to do this year. So
I don't think it was intended to stack as much as we did too, because like you're saying, we were thinking that Elsa was probably going to lead a different team, and those two other teams formed like before we did the two other contenders. And I was hearing rumors what the rosters are, and I'm surprised that no one added LSO. I think we waited
mm.
like till 2 weeks after they formed the rosters, and he didn't get invited for any of those. So it's like inventable that we're gonna, add
Yeah,
him
that's
to
a
the
good
roster.
point.
Where
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, yeah, I am surprised by
and
that
then
as well.
also, and then also adrenaline, like we were giving teams a chance to beef up the roster, like specifically the Donsky squad. Like Adrena was without a team until I think the start of Mithril Cup, and we needed a body since Lizard King like wasn't responding at all, and that's we added him because literally no one else was adding him, so it ended up being like quite a bit more stacked, I think, than originally intended on creation.
Yeah, as far as the Donsky team, did Donsky organize and lead that, or was it like he kind of co-organized in conjunction
I don't
with
know. It was between
Spy?
him and Spy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not
yeah.
sure which one was more involved in creating the team and organizing it, but I'd say those two together.
I will say, super appreciate Donsky's efforts organizing that team and leading it because, I mean, I remember there were some years Donsky hadn't even played in NWC for a little while, and I was begging him to come back. So here he is. He's now organizing teams again. That's great. I definitely we both said this many times. We definitely wish that team had more firepower to kind of be more of a proper contender. Maybe we can somehow help next year to make sure there's like three proper contending teams. I think because they were almost there. They were just lacking a few more people. I think.
Yeah.
As far as this finals, going into this finals match, our team. We kind of expected to dominate this tournament, I will say, because like I said, I considered this to be team stacking, and for me that's like already pretty bad. And I don't normally like to do that, and we did try to get LSO to form another team at the beginning of the tournament. It was just too late. I'll just put that caveat in there in our defense, but. We did expect to dominate, and normally I don't like to have that mindset. Normally I like to have the mindset of the being the underdog. It just helps bring out the best of my performance personally. I don't like to go kind of overconfident into a tournament or a match, but there was no getting around it in this case. We definitely felt very, very confident for us. I will say I do think we got humbled a little bit in the QR. I think we definitely expected to dominate harder in that QR. We always kind of tend to start cold, and or at least I do, and my teams do, and that definitely repeated this year again. Like we had a tied 5-game series, had to do a tiebreaker to win that match in maybe QR1, I think, and then QR2 was like 3-2. Now, granted, we let the other team sub very generously, so those rosters were really strong for those matches. But still, we definitely had to kind of get into our groove a bit as a team throughout the tournament. So
yeah, the first 3 qualifying round matches, I think, each one we just won by 1 game. Or the first one, like you're saying, we technically tied, and then we did a sudden death game. We didn't really, have like a more positive showing until the last qualifying round.
Yeah, and but we did go undefeated. Minus those close matches in the QR, did go undefeated going into this finals match. The was it the top bracket finals that we almost swept, or was it a different match?
That was the qualifying round 4 where
okay.
was the Barb game that we lost.
Gotcha. What was the score of the top bracket finals? I don't even remember. Must have been 5-2 maybe or something like that.
I don't remember exactly. I know we did play all 7 games, so I can't remember if the last games had significance or not.
Let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I can look to this. Oh yeah, we played it. It was a close-ish match. We won game 1, lost game 2, tied game 3, lost game 4. So we were down going into game 5, and then we won the last 3 in a row. So we won 4 games to 2 and 1 tie. 4-2-1.
Oh, 4-2-1. Yeah. I remember, okay, I was remembering like that match was also closer than expected. Yeah. And I can't remember. I remember there was a reason we didn't do another podcast episode for that match. It wasn't like maybe the greatest match, but it was well, like they made it closer than we expected. Because again, we like almost swept them in the QR last match of the QR, and then I kind of expected more of that for the rest of the tournament, but then they kind of bounced back a little bit there. But okay, I mean, so going into this match, I would say we're the heavy favorites, but their roster is very respectable. I don't know. Some people were claiming like their roster was like weaker than normal years. But I look at their roster. I would say this is like an above average roster for an MWC finalist team. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they're a strong roster. Like the team that they brought to the finals, like, who's their worst player that's playing the game? I think it'd be between Monty and Homer is what people said.
Right.
Homer was just on my team the year before, and he was like performed really well in the finals. Like he always performs well. I feel like in those, those role playing roles. So like I don't really feel like they have a weakness on paper. Of course, there's all the things beyond just like the individual talent. But yeah, looking at the roster, they put up a fight. I'd say almost any finals.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing that hurt them was no Genghis. If Genghis had shown, Genghis would have been their best player for sure. So shout out to Genghis. But Naracoorte, like Naracoorte is one of the best players today right now. So same with Zur. Both of them top notch. I don't know. And the rest of the roster, Eastwind's a little not as active as he used to be, but he can be good, like very good as well. Their roster is totally fine. Like, and looking at our roster is obviously great as well. Like, definitely not complaining about our roster at all. But I don't know. I think on paper, if I had to kind of summarize why our team outperformed theirs in general over the tournament, like I don't really think it's a roster issue per se. I definitely think I'm not trying to put down Akira's capping or anything too much. I definitely think the strats have been slowly improving over time from what I've seen. So I actually, some of the earlier matches I thought Akira did quite well. Particularly when he was like trading more like doing more no archer trades and stuff like that. I mean, I think Akira and Homer do a decent job capping. I wouldn't say they're quite on our level compared to you, LSO, and I, but they could definitely get there if they wanted to, and I'd be happy to work with them if they wanted to do that. But I think the difference really is more in the strats and the capping, shot calling, etc., that kind of thing, rather than like the BC abilities of the players. Like the BC abilities of the players was more than sufficient for both teams, I would say. So.
Yeah, and Akira's trading throughout this tournament was actually like pretty solid, way better than what you normally see actually.
Yeah.
Like I think we were talking about off the podcast, I would give him like like a B, if not like a B plus on trades. Like you get right 80% of the time, which is better than your typical captain, even like finals captain. So he did a good job on the trades for the most part.
Yeah, and on that point, like, I agree with that. Akira did a pretty good job with the trades. But also when it comes to capping and shot calling, everything that kind of goes into like winning games, matches, tournaments, the trade is that's the first thing to get right, and it's the easiest thing to get right. The next, what really starts to separate the absolute best captains is like, okay, you got the trade down and like most of the strategy down pretty good most of the time, but then it's like now you got to get into like deep in the weeds in the execution. How to execute during the game is far more complicated of a discussion to go into. I mean, that's part of actually the motivation behind this entire podcast, though, and covering these matches is so that we can talk more about execution. And because in order to like learn execution, you kind of have to review film. Like that's the only way to really do it. Like trades and strats, you can like just load up the map without any other, like there's no real game, no other players even. You just load it up yourself and look at it and make notes on paper, and that's all you need to get the trade and kind of strat down, right? But like execution wise, like you're gonna have to at least to like really go deep into it and kind of convey concepts to teammates and stuff, you're gonna have to look at film. That's really gonna put a visual on everything. Otherwise, it just kind of gets way too abstract to be properly understood, I would say. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Is there anything else to say really
Yeah,
before we start?
just one last thing. Just one last thing. We touched on it a little bit, but I guess we'll just identify their players before we start, since most of them have changed names.
Oh yeah.
So their captain, I don't know how you pronounce that. Warbla, that's Akira. Yamante, son of Lam, is Homer. Naracoorte, I butchering all these names. I'm sure someone will make fun of me later for it, aka Dak. But that is Ephraimel, or HMP in the past. And then Kumalabuka is Tirri. Carla is Thalander. No Look is Eastwind. And that last guy, I'm not even going to try to say the name, is Monty. Well, yeah, that's all I got.
Just give me 1 minute. I'm trying to pull up the Twitch stream for people to link it to them.
Distracted.
I guess, yeah, I'll just talk about some things, I guess, until you're ready. Just let me know. But I guess one thing going this year is I also did sort of want to have a secondary, primary shot caller. So that was something that was exciting to me about teaming with you and LSO. I've had other people help, but like you guys are usually, from my understanding, I know for you, I haven't really teamed with LSO before this year, but teams that would essentially like guide the strategy and make a lot of the calls in game, and that's a lot to do for one person taking a majority of that role.
Yeah, I got the stream link out, by the way. So, yes, that was like the primary motivation for us teaming together. Because like we've kind of been theorizing that like if there was ever like a future big competitive scene and some spiritual successor to this game, we really believe that the top teams would have, you know, almost everybody on the team basically be a shot caller, like, or at least 3 people out of 8. You know what I mean? Like, you definitely need multiple. You know, we've had some issues. Like, people say, like, okay, is there such thing as too many shot callers that clog up the comms? And yeah, we've had some issues like that. You know, mostly I'm the most guilty of that because I like to talk a lot in the game, and not all of it is the best use of the channel for comms. But yeah, like you need in at least in Myth right now, like 3 shot callers, I would say, is like almost like a minimum. You know, like if you link out 1 or 2, you're kind of like, you can get by, but it's not optimal. You're always going to be kind of feeling like you got to do too much, essentially, right? Which is why a lot of people don't want a captain in the first place, is because like it just puts too much burden on one person. So it's nice to like share that burden with other players. It makes the capping experience easier and more enjoyable. And then like it also allows like every one of those, you know, kind of shot calling players to also be focused on their own units and play at the full level of their ability. The other problem with being a captain without any extra help is you have a really hard time actually focusing on doing well with your own set of units. It'll bite you in the ass a lot of times. Usually you got to give yourself like a much smaller than usual squad or something like that, which may not be ideal in all cases. So like how would you say the capping experience was for you this year relative to other years?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it was better overall. The one thing that's weird, that's like a two-edged sword, is you don't have all the power on making strats when you get more people involved, but also that can help like maybe fix some of the strats you're about to throw out that would have been bad. But in terms of like in-game play, it's like night and day in terms of having those couple other people to rely on when you can't really concentrate on a certain part of the map because you're engaged in battle or something like that.
So you and I did most of the strat collaboration, although LSO was also involved a fair amount as well. What was there anything in particular like that you mentioned that like
Specific
did I
strategy?
cock block you on some strat or something? Yeah.
No, I mean, I'd have to go back and look. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's probably a couple of strategies I would have gone a different route. I can't think of the specific right now, but I know there's a few that's like, oh yeah, I would have done this.
In hindsight, do you think you still would want to have done the different route, or
I
what?
don't. I'd have to go back and look at the maps again. I
Okay.
can't like give a confident answer right now.
I mean, I'll just say, I don't really. Yeah, I remember LSO kind of giving some pushback on us on one of the matches, one of the games we'll talk about later in this finals match. And, like, I actually like that. I like it when there's some pushback. I'm too used to people just kind of listening and assuming that I know best, but that's really not the case often. So I've always benefited from having more people collaborate with me on strats as long as they have a shared kind of philosophy or framework of understanding, mental model about how to approach strategy, so that like there's some shared understanding, right? Like otherwise, definitely there can be the case where collaborating with just fundamentally unaligned approaches to strategy is just going to cause unnecessary conflict, and there'll never be consensus or agreement at that point, right? And then you
For sure,
either
you want collaboration to make a strategy better. You don't want compromise to just try
yeah.
to attempt to make everyone happy and when at the end no one's happy.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've heard this story many times before about like disagreements and strategies, and then like either one of two things can happen. Either one, you just throw the other idea out, and you go with the one idea and not the other, or you try to create this like compromise between the two strategies, and like okay, we'll blend the two strategies that are fundamentally at odds with one another. We'll blend them together and create some middle ground strategy as a form of social compromise. And this always is a terrible idea and never works out
No.
well, right? So we've seen it happen many times. But yeah, I mean, for me, I thanked you before as well because, like, for me, this was like a super easy experience. I guess I did captain the first couple matches, but like, I don't even remember like putting that much effort into those matches. I mean, I did put some effort into them, but that was like for the most part, it felt like you kind of did everything, which super easy for me. I got to do basically all the fun stuff of just like not having to write up anything and just talking about some strats with you, and then shot calling in game to help out with that, and that's about it. So that was great. So. All right, let's get into the match here. Game one. Well, let's kick it off here. Well, I'll start. I'll just we'll pause again at 0 PT when I get there, but we'll talk about trades in the meantime. All right, so we have a Tro map, and it's kind of a little bit different than. I don't know. It almost kind of reminds me of Barb Valley units. There's some similarities there. You got the Fetch Mort Souls combo with Tro. You're just kind of like got Myrks instead of Mauls is the main difference, I guess. We've played this map many times where on a lot of like Flag Rally or something like that, it turns. Actually, no. Is this different? I can't remember because there's not that many Myrks on this one. I thought this was played Flag Rally maybe last year where it turned into like a big rush, but I don't remember.
No, this map is new from this year, but we did play in the qualifying round. The Mauls picked it, but it was dark, not Drow.
Okay, I'm thinking of Dark. Okay, gotcha. Wait. Oh, never mind. So Dark doesn't have Trow. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay, I must be thinking of a completely different map. I don't know. I'm confused. Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so what's interesting about this is there's not too many like good melee, and it's like very kind of skews pretty arty heavy because you kind of got a lot of hills that are great for souls and morts, and also there's fetch and just not that many mercs to trade for. So I mean, if there was more mercs on this, I would definitely see it able to go more melee heavy, but just because you're really limited at 10 mercs in the trade and only merms or thrall elite to trade for after that, there's just like not enough to really do like a big melee rush really anywhere. So
Yeah, about strategy, looking back on this one's like the most interesting for me. I think there's a little things that I would like to change if it's go back and do it. And I mean, I did identify this like doing strat, so it was just hindsight stuff. But their trade is pretty different from ours. You can only get like 22 merms. They got close to max merms. We elected to get thrall, which they got no thrall, and they got more souls than us. So I mean, a lot of our reason for not maxing merms is we just thought that all the melee on this map was like relatively weak. Even the crits, since you can only get 10 of them and there's so much artillery. So I do like that we didn't go like heavy merms like them. I like that we went with the 3 trial split and stuff. The one thing I like that they did is getting nearly no thrall.
mm-hmm. I
In
thought you were gonna
hindsight,
say
I think I
that.
would have got nearly no thrall too, and it actually just max souls. And the reason for that in my mind is I'd have enough to, put some thrall on the dwarfs and just give extra soul squads to these dwarf guys. And I guess the reason for that is because like usually what you want to do with like those slow units like thrall and light maps and maybe in dark maps is find a way to get the slow units into the fight, so you actually get like some type of advantage with them in melee and stuff. But we just have thrall sitting back with our mort squads to defend against Drow, and that's a pretty hard defense.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Like, I mean, what's the difference in souls on this? We
They got
had
24. We got whatever we got. I think we got 18, right? We each had 6.
okay.
Yeah. So
This
they
20,
had 6
24
more
might have been
souls than
max,
us.
so you
Yep.
could have maybe maxed souls, and we'd still probably have enough for a few thrall. Yeah, I could see that. It
I
would kind
just
of
think
like
that,
create
like
hell for their
even having
Drow.
0 melee, having 6 more souls is a better threat to the units we're worried about pushing on us, fetch and drow.
Yeah, because you kind of just use you, basically what happens is you use like fetch and trow as your like anti melee rush, and the souls morts kind of just dominate the rest of the fight, right? So I can definitely see that. Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. If I had to do it again, probably would try that. All right, I'm at 0 paused right now. Yeah,
I'm
just to
good.
explain our strat a little bit. So this is something bit of a theme for us this tournament was trying these three-way tro split strats, and this is something that I have been theorizing about for about 15 or so years since I've been started capping really about how viable three-way tro split strategies are. They're pretty rare, I would say. And usually when they're tried, I would say in general it doesn't go well. But I always felt like they were failing not in the concept per se, but in the execution of them. So just like conceptually, I just want to explain. I'm kind of giving away some secrets here that will be used against me in future years, which is okay. But the concept here for the three-way tro split, whenever it's used, is it kind of first of all you have to understand tro arty pushes first, okay, and the kind of strength of those. And once you understand tro arty pushes, you understand that in general, on Tro maps, you generally want to create as many viable, distinct Tro arty pushes as possible, like splitting up. Like it's better, in other words, it's better to have like, excuse me, 2 or 3 separate Tro arty flanks rather than like going all mid with all your Tro and arty. So in general, that is preferable. Especially in particular, that is true on game types where map control is important. I'll just say that. So, for example, if this was played on territories, we probably would not do a 3-way Tro split because map control is not important until near the end of the game, right? But when you're talking about Flag Rally, CTF, King of the Map, in particular, those 3, where map control is important, then this setup, splitting out your Tro RD as much as possible, tends to maximize map control such that it gives you another powerful tool in your toolbox to pressure the opponent rather than just relying on a BC fight. And usually whenever it's possible to do that, usually that is going to win. Because there's too many good ways to like counter the opponent in terms of like pinning them to flags, or creating like guaranteed tie or win scenarios, et cetera, et cetera. So, so when we execute these kind of 3-way Tro split strategies, the general idea is we flank out, and the middle guy is going to be in kind of the most critical and dangerous position because obviously for the first couple minutes of the game, he is the most prone to be rushed. Like the opponent could try to counter our strategy by just doing an all mid jugger rush through the middle of the map, and they would cut through the middle of the map faster than our flanks can, and our flanks would be out of the fight too for a little while, which would create like a extremely dangerous situation, and you could easily get like crushed in that situation on having the 3-way split if you don't execute it well in this way, right? So for the first couple of minutes of the map, usually the mid guy needs to kind of just buy time and make sure that they don't get rushed. Usually that happens by just kind of hanging back more and taking as defensible of a position as possible, right? After a couple minutes kind of settled out, the flanks, and in particular the arty pieces, which are the slowest units for the flanks, once they are fully in position, now you've kind of exercised your maximum, map control, maximum control around the map, and now you can usually probe to find which of the 3 fronts is weakest, and that side should push while the other 2 sides hold, right? So you'll kind of see that happen a bit in this game. We'll talk about it when we get there. But that's the idea. And as far as countering this strat, one of the counters, you only got like really 2 major moves to make. One is, like I said before, to just kind of like jugger through mid. And then the other counter is, of course, to try and jugger one of the flanks, right? Like essentially if you're fighting against this, trying to counter it, you're going to try to basically find a way to fight your way out, like pick a side, right? And just fight your way out of it. And then it's the job of, if you're executing this 3-way Tro split, it's the job positioning is crucial. The reason this is so difficult to execute is because the positioning, this positioning matters more, executing this strat more than I've seen on any other type of strat. It's all about like basically running away from their Tro. Wherever their Tro, if all their Tro are together, you have to run away from them to the edges of the map as much as possible and make sure that they do not get a Tro RD combo set up on you, except in the worst case scenario, like at the edge of the map. Like you need to force their Artie to run all the way to the edge of the map, or force their Tro to take an engagement without Artie support, in which case they will take a lot more damage. So that's the general idea, like trying to execute this and defend against like a 3-Tro rush on one side is you kind of just run to the edge of the map and you turtle up, you get your souls ready to do as much damage as possible, and you really try to run. If you're really I would even say this, you're really not running from their Tro so much as from their Artie. That's the thing you really need to run from. Like if their Tro come to you and they don't have Artie support, you're actually probably fine. And even if you die, like a lot of times in this type of dynamic, if the 3-Tro kind of get an overwhelming rush on one side and they end up killing that side, sometimes it's still okay because as long as their Tro took too much damage, and ideally you always want to salvage your Tro. Like maybe the rest of the flank died, but if at least you can salvage your Tro and get out healthy with it and got some decent damage in the process, usually you still win even with that outcome, right? So that's kind of, we can talk about more of that of this dynamic as we continue to go through it. But I just want to set that up because this is kind of complicated. This is like one of the most complicated strategies I've ever really thought about doing. So it kind of requires a little bit of explanation, and then we can kind of show this game in particular is not the greatest example, but maybe if we got time, maybe after this match, maybe we can even like load up the Barb Valley game where it's like a better example of it. We'll see. But anyway, that's all I got. You ready to start this?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Game on.
All right, so we got Ars and Myrk on fetch. I really like that that combo for us. And then I like actually their team assignments too. Zur on Tro, Tirri on fetch, Naracoorte on fetch. I really like that choice as well. Yeah, no, I mean they did a good job with the role assignments and everything in the squads. So, do I only see 2 soul squads? Those are some big soul squads.
For them, yeah, they got 2 big soul squads, 2 of 12. They're flanking both of them, looks like, each side.
So I remember during PT here, Adren was talking about how he wanted to get that middle hill where your Tro is on right now, and I was kind of hesitant about it even at the time. And in hindsight, I really wish I had just said, I don't want you on that hill at all.
It's dangerous because it has high ground, but there's no escape for it. It actually traps you in there because of the cliff, the way it is.
Yeah.
Only that middle hill is really a good one to defend from and be safe from.
I do want to, I'm going to have to be a little bit critical of you and Adren in this game because I do want to point out a couple things that I think we could have done better middle, but we'll get there. In general, like I think right now I'm okay with Adren. I like he's got those 2 morts on that really defensible position. That's exactly where I would stick. And his other mort's okay pushing out for now because there's really nothing threatening it for now. But
I'd say initially our strat works because they have a 3 trials split at the start and instantly they detach one of the Akira. So it means that they're already reacting to what we're doing. So actually like initially like what's going on. Yeah. Oh, and that's a great point too. Another thing I want to mention is like the other great thing about the 3-way Tro split is it kind of like forces the opponent to kind of adjust and react to you and fall into the dynamic of the game that you have defined and that your whole team is already ready to kind of engage in, right? And like whenever you set the terms of how the game is going to play out and the dynamic and you're already like prepared for that, Adren gets that nasty dud on the Myrk, that sucked. Usually that's a huge advantage. So yeah, already you see them having to react to us. Adren pushed out a little far to get that mort shot, but he's now backing up. That's okay. So right here, Asmo, this is where I would have you and Adren backing up. Now I don't like how forward Adren is already because all 8 of their fetch are middle,
and their Tro are right behind them. All their Tro, as soon as their Tro come up, they got the Tro already push on you guys. So now already Adren is way too far forward. He should be correct. The correct position for him would be right where his last mort is on that defensive hill. That's where everybody should be.
Yeah, I want to help Adren right now that they're pushing on him, but like you're saying, they already have the Trow already pushed set up. So even if I go and help them, I just get zapped too.
The other thing is your souls are out of position. They're like right next to mine. Like your souls should be on the other side of the morts essentially, right? Like my souls are already zoning. And this is where we didn't understand why Adren pushed forward when he was getting rushed like that, but maybe he had a freeze there. I know he was having issues with his internet too. Yeah, this is where I really wish your souls were on the other side. If they were just on the other side, I think Mark would have lived if he was just on the other side of them, you know?
Yeah, I mean, their Trow would have got punished at least. Like
Exactly. Your souls are just slightly... Oh, Adren has the souls. Oh, you didn't have the souls.
Well, I had him. Adren died, so I gave it to him.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I really just feel like this fetch push should not be nearly as successful as it was. It felt like they kind of got away with murder on that one, but we are trying to counter on the other side of the map. You see LSO on the east is our big push. Ours actually does a phenomenal job pushing here. You see he just takes out one more. He's about to get the next one too. Really nice job by ours pushing up on a mort hill. Really hard to do. And so LSO's got a good push going in the east for us. I am, at this point, trying to dive into the backfield as well. I did not realize how far forward their middle was already. Like, my souls were retreating to assist mid, but I didn't realize how far gone it was already. Even none of our whites got a good clean shot, which I was really surprised by as well. Like, props to their fetchers, honestly. Like, they pushed through. They didn't even get whited. It's really nice job by their mid push. I was really surprised how well their mid did on this. And it won them the game, for sure. You'll see ours and LSO about to start pushing their flag. So we're a little bit closer to their flag than they are. Well, pretty similar, I would say. It's going to be not close enough, though. I'm joining up with LSO. They get a decent white on a couple souls. They whited us, maybe. Now ours is cleaning up. Man, you'll see the terrible defense of ours' fetch here. Yeah, see, LSO kind of leaves ours
right there.
Yeah, he should have just backed off. Big. Yeah, he should have just backed off and defended ours.
You just need to defend the fetch at that point and let the fetch kill everything.
Yep. And LSO said as much afterwards, so... That was definitely a key mistake for us.
Flag lost.
My Tro just wasn't
ours is
quite
fetch
there
keep
in time.
alive there. It's probably like equal percents after the flag swap.
Yeah, we could have swapped flags. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you see Ratking's forces getting into position now too. So we would have been able to hold that flag for sure. Because then we could have just got Rat up on the high ground on the flag, and then he could have held the souls up. But yeah, really nice job by their team. Some sloppy execution on our part. When you do the three-way Tro split strats like this, the most critical role is middle. Like, that middle always has to hold. Contested. If it doesn't hold, that's how this strat can really go wrong. In general, the way I like to execute holding middle on this is I always take a position further back than what is normal on middle. And I always have the arty guy. The arty guy should always be behind the Tro. Like, that's actually a good way for me as the Trower to signal where I want the arty guy to be. And the reason for that is, again, the primary way to counter the mid push is to just not let their arty get combined with their tro, right? So if you can keep their tro separated from their arty, you should be safe. And that means that you need to be, the arty guy has got to be able to have time to run all the way to the corner of the map before their tro get there. So basically you should be acting like super scared middle. Like anytime their tro start pushing forward, you just start running as fast as you can. And you just kind of keep backing up. Because at the end of the day, your defense is kind of like to just draw out the timer on them. As long as you die near the edge of the map, like that's the best outcome, because that means that it took them forever to get there, and that got the rest of your team plenty of time to counter on the other side of the map, which is
Yeah, if we could play more defensive and stall like another minute before they even push there, maybe our flanks get pressure before that mid push even happens, so the mid push isn't even able to commit the mid, that they have to fall back.
Yeah, that was definitely possible as well. But basically, as soon as I see all 8 of their fetch middle and their tro are there, like that's like alarm bells ringing. You gotta get like a mile away from that as fast as possible, right?
Especially the fetch. The fetch with us having no fetch mid, we needed to. That should have been the signal to like set up in the most defensive position possible.
Yeah, because I saw for like a good 30 seconds there, you could kind of see like the buildup of their army happening middle, and there was like a good 30-second warning before it happened.
Yeah.
Hang on, I had a headset issue. Just give me 1 minute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Cool.
Yeah, I guess Akira had a really big game. He ended up taking one of the trial split. I'm guessing he was one of the people who just kicked us mid or kicked Myrk in, probably.
Yeah, I see. He's got one of the tro. Yeah, middle. Yeah. No, great job by Akira for sure. I always like seeing Tirri on fetch. I think Tirri is a phenomenal fetcher. It's a nice job by him. Homer looks like he did well as well. I'm guessing he had like a soul pack maybe.
I think so. I'm not for sure. It was
No, it was
Eastwind and Thalander were on souls, so he must have had like a more squad or something.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm not sure where he got the damage from, but he got big numbers.
Yeah. Okay. You ready for the next one?
Yep.
All right. Temple of Light, is that right?
Yeah, Temple Light. Yeah, this map, its territories, 10 minutes, sort of low game time, close to a traditional light unit set, but there is 8 Thel in it, so slightly different than like a desert trade or unit set. I mean, I looked at this map one time. I think the same for USO. We looked at it one time and it automatically like came up with the strat in the same trade, probably like right away. Maybe the only thing I think we really discussed on this map at all within our team was how to split the units slightly.
I remember there was some brief discussion about 5 archers versus 10 archers as well. The thing about 5 was like there just wasn't really a good way to put the points anywhere else. Like you end up getting like too many dwarfs or something like that. So we pretty quickly settled on 10. The middle hill, it supports 10. It's kind of tight, but it can definitely do more than 5. So that was the main thing. You know, the main strat idea here was like, okay, middle's got a hill. So obviously, usually, especially when middle has a hill, usually you want control of it to help give you control of the map throughout the game. So that was the idea here. I remember telling the team, like, if and when we get control of the middle hill, that we should all just kind of stay together, because I think on this map in particular, much more so than conventional light maps, because of the addition of Thel and because there is so many goals on it as well, I think it's really easy to get rushed down and picked off on this. So I didn't want anybody getting like isolated out on their own. and getting picked off in that way, which is a mistake that I would say their team made later on in the game that we'll see. But we see their trade, they go heavier archers. As I had discussed already kind of in other chat channels, I think that's a bit of a mistake for a couple of reasons. Number one, the middle hill doesn't support more than 10 archers really on this. It's just not big enough. And then number two, when we go head to head with them, even if though they have more archers, like, and I was calling it in the game, like I was calling for our thrall to just start rushing them. We're going to just use a thrall rush to push them off the middle hill, and then we got the middle hill. And now we can hold our 10 archers against their 15 pretty easily, so.
Yeah, I mean, also because the amount of archers they traded for, they were forced to use 3 players on archers, so it also gets another player locked up in that role.
Yeah.
Also, a less important thing, but it has some significance on this map. We're talking about the strong mid control. There's also 12 flags on the map, and 6 of them are right there around mid, so in a territories game, a lot of time the flag game, doesn't play significance. But if it ended up being close game like that, mid control, it helps you get to half the flags on the map just by being around there.
It's 7 really, if you count the one on each side of the.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Flanks.
7, not
Yeah.
7, not 6.
So 7 out of 13.
13
yeah.
then. Yep.
So you already got like the majority, so that wins the game right there. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty dominant position for sure. And they had the right idea. I mean, props to them. They realized that they needed to go all mid as well. I think they needed to refine their idea a little bit more in terms of particularly, like, they should have thought about like, hey, what if they go max thrall and less archers? Like, can we really hold the mid hill against that? And the answer would have been obviously no. Like, obviously a thrall rush is going to push you off the middle hill, which is why you don't want to go too heavy on the archers. Now, the other reason you don't want to go too heavy on the archers, too, is, like, with the more melee that we have, because we got more thrall holding the middle, our fast melee are more freed up to flank wider, and it kind of forms a more threatening team formation that really prevents their archers from getting good angles. The 10 that we have is more than enough, right? Like, we don't, with the melee threatening the sides, like, if we got into an archer fight, in other words, if we got into an archer fight with them, our melee having a stronger threat on the sides of them is going to bottle up their archer formation such that those extra 5 archers or whatever are not going to matter effectively, right? So, and then the other thing I think that they could have thought out through a little bit more, as I mentioned, we'll see later, is how, and you and I discussed this too, is like whenever you talk about these strats where it's like, hey, the strat is to go all mid and get control of mid. Okay, well, you always need to think it all the way through. What if you don't get mid? Then what do? Right? Like, I think a lot of people, a lot of captains, I mean, shit, myself included, I made this mistake many times. You don't think it all the way through. Like, you got, like, you talked about step A, but what is step B and C afterwards, right? Like, okay, what if I didn't get mid? Then what do I do? I need to have a plan for that contingency, because it could happen, right? And then what if I do get mid? That's the other thing, is like, even if you do get mid, even if everything goes well, you do get mid, then what do? Because we made that mistake before. We've made this mistake on other maps in this tournament where we got middle like we wanted, and then we start running around like we're chickens with our head cut off, and we start making really dumb, silly mistakes because we didn't think it all the way through about what do you do after you get mid, right? Like, so I remember you and I had a discussion about this, and I was telling the team, like, look, after we get mid, we're all going to stay together, and we're going to start trying to hunt down their slow units to get a BC advantage for the end. In particular, their thrall, maybe dwarfs and archers as well, right? Like, that was the general idea. So anyway, we can talk about more as we get into this film. You got anything else before we start it?
No, I guess just a difference. Okay, we got 2 doors. You got 2 doors. Nope, nothing else.
All right. So I'm at 0, going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, we actually got a lot more melee than them. They got a second J-Man.
Oh, second J-Man. You know, to be fair to them, I like the second J-Man idea. That's not bad. You know, extra heals for the archers.
Maybe
Did
I'm
we not
wrong.
get... Oh, okay.
Okay, did they only get one? They only got one. Never mind.
Okay.
For
I was
some
about to
reason, I thought
say.
they
I
got
was
two.
about to say, why didn't we get a second J-Man? I'm guessing it's not tradable. Is my guess.
You
And I
know,
think we
you
would've-
can get a second Drayman,
Oh,
but
can you? Okay.
I don't think it makes sense with this one. You need at least one dwarf, and we only traded for one. Yeah, we got 2 dwarfs, right? Okay, that's because we had 2 archer squads. No, I think we got the right trade. I don't think they should.
I think a
do
second
this
J-Man
much
is
situation.
viable on this for the extra heals with the archers, but yeah, either way. Okay, so you got Monty, Argos, and Tirri on archers.
They are doing bottle plus 2. We identified that early. That's actually why I pulled back the ghoul pack at the beginning. We saw them making bottles. I figured we wouldn't have to worry about ghouls mid initially.
Right.
Flag captured.
Yeah, so I mean, both teams are identifying it's a fight for mid right now. We can all see their big forces there.
And then we see that they have more archers at this point. We're like,
Flag
okay.
captured.
Pretty soon after this,
Flag
I'm calling for our
lost.
thrall. I think basically
Flag
right about now, I'm calling for our
contested.
thrall to rush in as
Flag
fast as possible
captured.
to make sure we get the mid hill.
Flag captured.
I think their archers actually could have been more aggressive here. I feel like they're being a little too passive in pushing for the mid.
Yeah, Myrk has a little bit of mistake right there. He pusses like 2 warriors. Maybe
Yeah,
even 2
I saw
plus.
that.
At least 1 though.
Yeah, I saw that. And then he did grab the big pus on the ground too.
Yeah. I do like he's fighting for a mid position. Warrior packs just need to be
Flag
careful not to come
lost.
up, especially early in the game, or else you're just gonna get a massive puss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
come
you're
our
seeing the
thrall.
difference in the thrall right now. Our thrallers
Yep.
getting up there, and their archers
Oh,
are
big pus by
stopping to
ours.
push forward.
Ours
Yeah,
gets
for
a
sure,
beautiful pus on Thal.
Thal. Yep. Ooh, and the dwarfs fall off.
Ooh, and the dwarf shot too. Nice by Rat. I like how ours is being real patient, hanging behind. I mean, I guess Adren did lose a couple archers there that he probably shouldn't have, but okay, this
One
is where
thing to notice
Xur
with-
commits here. This is a really bad mistake by Xur. I'm not sure why
It
he did that.
is. Yeah, I don't know.
You never want
takes so
Thal
much
fighting the
damage there.
thrall. Yeah. Like
He
like
loses
Thal
one.
or like Hurons or like Tro on this. Like they're the most powerful
Flag
melee, so
captured.
any help on them is crucial.
One thing I'm noticing for Rat is he has all his thrall in front of his dwarf. The
Yeah,
whole
that's
reason
good.
you get thrall with your dwarf is to keep the thrall in front
Oh
of the dwarf. So
man, Xur just takes that huge dwarf shot. What? I don't even know what he was thinking there, honestly.
Flag captured.
Wow. Sorry I cut you off there. That was a big one.
yeah, I mean,
Flag
I'm
contested.
thinking he's probably thinking in his mind we need to fight for mid position, but I don't think he was watching the map or something.
It was
to
already
realize this
lost.
whole team was not fighting for it anymore.
Yeah. You can't. You got to fight with the whole team. You can't be fighting on by yourself. Yeah, no, I would have, if I was on their team, I would have called for us to fall back as soon as the thrall rush happened.
Flag captured.
Like there was no getting around it. But here's where they start to make another mistake, which is their whole team really should have stayed together. They had to leverage the archer advantage. They could have actually still tried to engage with us middle. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to push uphill, which is kind of annoying, but they do have an archer advantage, and you usually can dodge and kind of push your way up decent enough, right? It's not like an overwhelming advantage. Also, Adren lost a couple archers. We only have 8 archers, actually. So they have almost double archers.
I agree. They should retreat into one big ball, try to win the archer fight, and all their melee should just be defensive to keep the archers alive.
They could have just formed one big archer line across like half of that middle, like kind of cut it in half, like push up two ramps, you know, 2 adjacent ramps, and just have the fast melee guard the flanks of the archers, and just, I would force the archer fight, dude, if I was them. I'd be like, look, those archers are gonna have to win this for us, and everybody stay together. That's it. So here you see them make a big mistake where you got Monty, Eastwind doing like this wide, and Thal doing a wide flank in the east. They're like kind of splitting their army in half, and this is a disaster. This is like massive. This is where it loses them the game. I mean, the game's already kind of lost actually, but if Xur had not taken so much damage middle, and if they had not split up, they would still be in the game right now. Like, this is kind of where they're really falling apart.
5
So
minutes remaining. Flag contested.
I'm already calling it at this point. I'm like, okay, they're splitting up. I'm trying to find a good way to get behind Tirri to get a surround off. I'm calling for Myrk to try and flank Argos. And I basically want LSO to engage Argos and have Myrk kind of on the side and me get on the other side to set up a surround. That's what I'm trying to set up.
Flag captured.
Naracoorte doing a good job with the gold pack as always. I do think they still have the bottle pass. They're still kind of waiting to use it.
I believe so. I don't think they've used it yet.
Ooh, LSO loses an archer. That's a rare thing for LSO to
captured.
do. He must be out of roots. I think so. LSO I actually think is like probably the best archer in the game actually on these type of squads.
Yep, between him and Donsky probably.
Yeah. Okay, here I'm finally getting behind Tirri. I'm getting a really nice position here. Oh, picked off his dwarf. Boom. I don't know why he didn't defend it. The dwarfs should never be exposed out front like that. I mean, he should have had more other help defending, I suppose, but once I got that dwarf down, it was over for them. Like, they're already dead.
Flag lost.
And then here I'm really taking my time. I'm really trying to get that surround as clean. A lot of people make a mistake here where they see that they can win the fight, and so they just go straight in, right? Like, we could win the fight going straight in right now, but it's in a tournament, high-level tournament play, it's not about simply winning, it's winning as efficiently as possible. And so here we're really taking our time to get the absolute maximum efficient position here before finishing them off. Because there's really no rush to finish them off early. We still got time.
Flag.
Here we're worried about the satchels there a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only way they get some Myrk off is they get a big old satchel plus on us right there.
Yeah, Naracoorte's trying to set up the bottle pus, but we don't really give them a clean shot anywhere.
Flag.
Oh no,
Maybe he doesn't have the bottle plus.
Yeah, they don't have it anymore. Okay.
I don't even know where it was used.
Yeah, me
Flag
neither.
captured. Flag contested. Flag.
It should have been used on me. Whatever. Like, it wasn't used on me.
Flag
So
contested. Flag.
yeah, this game's already over. So just clean up now.
Maybe it was just this year, but it seems like archers are finding a place again for sure.
Flag.
Yeah,
The big thing for a while is so there's no archers anymore, but people are finding ways to get use of them now.
Yeah, I think they're
training for 2 squads instead of just 1 many times now.
They're being used better and more intelligently, I would say, in general
Flag
too.
contested. Flag contested. Flag contested. Flag lost. Flag captured.
Yeah, this is just a clean win for us. Everyone played their role well.
Flag captured.
Yeah, I think the big thing is, I mean, they lost the mid fight, but even after the mid fight, I think you're right. They need to retreat and try to win through the archers.
100%. They actually still, actually, as soon as Zur took too much damage, that's probably where they started to lose the game already. But that's unfortunate. But if that didn't happen, they definitely could have still won that game. Because we made a mistake. I would say I think the biggest mistake we made was actually letting Adren lose 2 archers middle early on to seemingly nothing. I don't know. I'd have to go see exactly how they died. But those archers definitely should have been defended a bit better. Because losing 2 archers that early is actually fairly significant. And like if we were going 10v15, I wouldn't be as worried about the archer fight with the hill advantage and the better melee support. But going 15 versus 8 on archers, they definitely could have won that fight. Definitely.
I think he lost them to a pus, then follow up like early on when we were fighting for the hill.
I don't know. Like I don't see a pus next to their body though. It's kind of weird. I don't know.
Game over.
We could watch it real quick actually. Looking at the stats. I don't know who did well for them. I just feel like nobody on their team really had the opportunity to do well. I would just say it just kind of fell apart too fast for them.
Yeah.
Rat had a couple huge dwarf shots. That was big. I just kind of like. I feel like my most important job this game was just doing the shot calling a little bit. It was really like kind of easy for me. I didn't really do anything that like special with my units. It was just kind of like a clean surround and picking off the dwarf with a pus and then rushing with everybody else. That was it. So it was more just the shot calling.
I wish there was a year I could honestly just be on a dwarf squad every light map. Like they have potential to be so strong if you can protect.
To like really kind of show how they should be used better, kind of thing, or what?
Yeah, just to hone in on that. That's all you have to worry about is your unit set. Just keep it alive and pick off shots when people overextend. Like Rat really shows this game like the strength it has if you can keep that dwarf protected.
Yeah. In general, I definitely think there's big improvements that could be made in the use of dwarfs, in particular keeping them alive. They almost always are just way overexposed. They need to be way in the back and kind of completely surrounded by friendly melee defending them, and archers ideally, and gold pack. Like they do need a lot of defense, don't get me wrong, but they can be defended very well. It can be done, especially with a good team, but I rarely see good examples of it being done well.
So, I looked at it. Unless you want to actually go.
I was gonna look at it real quick. Yeah.
They throw a big plus on his archers. That only gets one of them killed. The other team has archer follow up, and then the second one they sneak in a solo goal.
Yeah, it was that second one I saw. Yeah.
His thrall are pushing mid already, so he doesn't have his thrall with him. Ours is protecting him, sort of, but the protection doesn't end up being good enough. So he ends up stabbing it. Ours eventually gets through, but they do lose. He loses his second archer to a solo goal, essentially.
Oh, that was a really far pus that Akira threw. That man, it barely hit a Dren's archer. That's a little unlucky.
Adren did a good job there. I don't really think that was his fault. Like, they wasted a plus on kill one archer. That's actually positive for our team.
And that archer almost made it out alive too. So like they like barely got it by the skin of their teeth. Definitely losing an archer to a big pus is always acceptable. Like that's always acceptable. It's really hard to not lose an archer to a big pus. Okay, and then I see the other goal. That's Akira's. Yeah, ours definitely should have defended that better. Yeah, there's two warriors next to it.
That's not Dren's fault, because we do want Dren in this situation actually push up with his thrall.
100%, 100% right. Dren made the right move. His thrall are exactly where they should be, pushing up. That's ours' fault, not guarding that archer. I remember Adren, actually the archer almost made it out alive too, but Adren ended up shooting himself with it, so.
Is that how the first one died? Or the second one?
The second one. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, it was gonna survive, but then he shot it to finish it off. So he just got really unlucky there with both of those archers. Anyway, okay. It doesn't matter. Let's let's move on to the next one, Axe to Grind. All right, this was the game with the big controversy here when it starts.
Oh, we got to restart the film until we have all the gates open.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
My version of the gate's still closed right now. I got to restart.
Mine
it's
too.
So weird.
It always happens the first time.
Film. It's so strange.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen before. It seems like it's only the north gate that can be closed. I don't see it ever happen with the other ones. So it's kind of weird, but.
I can explain the strategy on the stuff once you got the film working the right way.
Yeah, mine's good. I'll pause at 0.
So for this map, we had 2 separate strategies. We didn't know initially until we started testing out some, but the north team gets the mid start by about 3 seconds. And so with the North start, we were going to have a strategy where we commit pretty much all of our army to mid to gain that mid flag, and then we were going to set up our 4 doors around the 4 gates to mid and make like that mid as our big home flag. And after we got that set up, after we pushed them off of mid, essentially, we're going to have pretty much all our fast melee start leaking to the backfield to try to get the flag advantage so that we could get VI and camp on the home. So that was a quick summary of what the North strat was. And then if we got the South strat, we were aware that we wouldn't get that mid tag. And so we were going to do sort of like a 2-prong to the outsides, with the east side being our main push, which was going to be a lot of thrall on that push with soul support. And we did make a last minute change where we were going to have some soul support on the west side, and our defense was going to be like pretty much not all of our mauls, but a majority of our mauls and pus. And they were just going to be like a roaming defense. That was the difference in strategies from either start.
Yeah, and the concept there is kind of similar to our common light strategy, where like we do the archer flanks with the thrall, dwarf, gold pack offense. It's kind of counterintuitive. You got like all the slow units on offense and all the fast units on defense. Kind of a similar concept we were trying out here if we got the South start, which we did not, but that was the idea. I was really, I think we were all shocked that they went all mid from the South start.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming at all.
I'm trying to look at the trades. We got 7 souls. They got 2 4s. Pretty much the same. They got 8 souls. They got a lot less thrall. That's why I'm trying to see the difference where that is.
One extra dwarf.
They got it. Extra dwarf. Yeah. Okay. Guess that's it. Really. Makes it look like almost no thrall with that extra dwarf.
Is
So
that
almost
really all?
exactly the same trade, just slight differences.
Yeah, very
We got
similar
one more
trade.
soul and one more dwarf, and we use those points into
One more
thrall.
soul. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have messed up on the directions in
It's the same souls
this
actually.
game. Oh, do they only have 7?
It's 8. It's 8 and 8.
Oh, we got 8. We got 8. Okay, gotcha. Oh yeah, so literally they got one dwarf more than us, and we got 6 more thrall. Okay.
Is it really only 6 more thrall? How many thrall do we have? No, that can't be right. I don't know how these points are going, man. There's something weird.
I don't know.
There's something weird about these points. Did we confirm that the points are the same on this? Shit. I don't know.
They were different originally, and I mean that was part of the Volume 2 release, was to fix the points. I can't say I checked the Volume 2. I just assumed they were right since we identified them the first
Do you
one.
want
But
to
they're
check it
supposed to be the
real
exact
quick?
same.
Do you want to check it real quick before we start this?
Well, what if we have more points in the North and the North start?
Oh my god.
People would really be
People are
raging
gonna,
now.
I mean, they're gonna check now, dude. Somebody's gonna check. You might as well check it right now, dude.
Okay, I'll check it. I need to mute my mic for 1 second.
I feel like we have more points. Like, that sucks. I still don't think it would have mattered, but it definitely adds to the controversy. Shit. Because, yeah, we got 11. We got 17 thrall. And they only have 5. That's 12 points difference. Only 6 of that is explained by the extra dwarf. Wait. Oh, they got 2 extra dwarfs. Oh, no, we're good. Wait, no. No, yeah, we're good. I miscounted it. They got 6 dwarfs. We're good. Okay. They got 2 extra dwarfs. That's 2 more dwarfs than us. That's why. Okay. Shit.
Alright, sorry, I'm fully back. Okay, so 2 extra doors. That makes sense.
Yeah. Not now.
Alright.
Now we're good.
We only
Thank God that's not the case.
We only semi-cheated Akira. We only rigged it a little bit in our favor.
Right. Oh man. Okay. So Okay, I mean, a couple things. Like, I really think, obviously, is a huge mistake to go all mid from the south start. Now, granted, they end up still winning that middle fight eventually. It takes them a while, but still, I mean, I would never do that. Here's another big reason why. You have to defend a flag, right? So if you're going all mid, it's like, okay, well, which flag are you defending? Well, if you're going to go all mid, the logical choice to defend is your home start flag. That's the thing that's closest to middle that you would want to defend. But also, there's other good flags to defend, like flag 6 for them on the west side. That would have been a really great flag for them to defend too. And it just, I don't know, like you need to pick something to defend, and it's not really obvious what you should defend if you know you don't get the middle start. So, and you're going all mid. So that we'll talk more about that mistake from them as we go on. We'll just talk about rolls real quick. You got Zur on double Herons and Naracoorte on the third. Eastwind on Souls. Dwarf's pretty well split up, which I like. I mean, I will say this. I think Akira's doing a nice job with the squad designs and role assignments. I don't really have any major complaints about what he's doing there. Like we said before, the trades are pretty good. It's a really just a execution thing. The execution is a really, really big thing right now for them. And then we got, so I'm on dedicated Herons and Spider Pack, a Dren on the Souls. I'm curious. Oh, we opted to do like double Dwarf squads and dedicated Maul squads, which I do like as well. I'm okay with what we did as well, I think, with that. Although, I don't know, maybe if we were going all mid, maybe we should have split those Dwarfs up more. Maybe that was a mistake. What do you think?
It's interesting. I don't know. With how it played out, yeah, it would have been nice to have those in more hands, but I just was, I mean, I was surprised that they went all mid, from the south start. So I wasn't expecting
we weren't
the
planning for that.
resistance in an all mid fight.
Yeah. I got you. We were expecting our Dwarf guys to just kind of get set up on the ramps on the castle after we got mid, right? And just you didn't want too many. We wanted our Maul guys to be ready to roam around more, so that's why it was designed that way. But you can see how, given the way this played out, how the design of our squad was super disadvantaged for doing a mid fight. You know what I mean? And you could see it. Their dwarfs, out microed our dwarfs hard. Because you're literally talking about a 6v2 in the dwarf fight. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I think that was definitely a big factor there because of the mid fight. Anyway, you ready to start this?
Yep, let's do it.
3, 2, 1, go.
Game on.
Yeah, so Adren's on our Souls and he has our Thrall on defense. I think I messed up. Not only in theory, I think I actually gave him the wrong direction. I told him to go east. I don't even know exactly why, to be honest.
I remember.
I don't know if I originally had a mid or what the deal was.
We had an idea for him to flank around the outside of the castle in the east and link up with me doing a flank in the east to be part of our offense. That was the idea there. He ends up going too wide though in trying to defend the far east flag and taking way too long. And in hindsight, what we probably should have done was have him go through the castle first and then go out the east side, just in case he was needed mid as what happened here, right? So,
dude, I feel like their team lost mentally already. If you see chat from Akira, he's complaining about us getting mid when he knew that we were going to get mid first from the start. He knew it. That's why he was ready to respond that way. That's a bad mentality to approach the game. I feel like.
Well, he was unprepared, obviously, for not getting the start.
I don't think he was in terms of the trait, or
he must have been to go all mid. Why would you go all mid? It makes no sense from that start.
Maybe, yeah.
And
true.
Does this mean that we should be upset if we had gotten the south start? I don't know. I just don't get it. There's lots of maps that have like a slight advantage for certain tags. It's a fundamental flaw in the game. I would agree with that, but it's a decent puss on Monty's dwarf and another. Okay, we got a couple decent pusses on their dwarfs, but no follow-up. No follow-up on those dwarf pusses.
Yeah, so it's like a strange battle mid. We actually get like that mid position a little bit better at the start, but we need to defend that flag in our strategy when in theory. And so we're sort of clumped up on the mid and they have more doors, which is sort of helping them win the fight too.
I will say that our defense of our dwarfs was absolutely abysmal, I think.
Yeah, it was bad this game.
Our dwarf guys have every right to be upset, I think, that the fact that they weren't better defended. You see me, okay, I want to point out something. So you see me flanking into their backfield, and immediately I've already split up my units 3 ways to take all 3 of their flags as fast as possible. This is something that I don't see very many people do. They usually take way too long to tag all of the backfield flags because they try to do it one at a time or whatever, or they try to wait until they scout it. Like, I was splitting up those units before I even scouted what that southeast flag was, because I knew I had a really good guess. I could make a really good guess of what was on it, right? So you're going to see me like able to take these 3 flags as fast as possible. Captured. And they just left no D. Like, I didn't really understand it. Like, they're not sending any kind of reinforcement back to defend anything. It makes no sense. Also, look at that west flag. Your goal in the west didn't tag it. I had to call for you to tag it. They didn't defend it, though, at all. And that was like the best flag for them to defend. If they had actually defended that flag, the game would have went another 30 seconds, because that was the farthest flag for me to get. And so they just didn't defend it.
That's the best flag.
They actually, this game could have been close if they had just defended that flag 6.
Captured.
Like even like 3 or 4 thrall on it. Because think about this. Look at this. They're rushing our mid right now, and
captured.
We were not going to be able to hold. All our dwarfs are dead. You know what I mean? It would have. I do not have. Do we have VI yet? Oh yeah. We got VI. We're about to win. But if they had that west still, I would still take another 30 seconds, maybe even longer, to take it. And they're already on top of our home.
Get over there.
They almost got our home already. Like they're on the bridge. Like let's measure this. Who's closer to what? I have 5 spiders that I just took the southwest. But look how far I am from flag 6. And imagine
I'd say the distance is about equal, but yeah, I mean it could have gone either way if they would have had defense.
I think I'm a little bit further actually. I think I'm a little bit further. They're definitely closer. And imagine if they had even just. I actually think 2 thrall would hold against those 5 spiders easily. Maybe even 1. I'm not sure, but 2 for sure. And then
I'm looking at your hair impact though. Yeah, the spiders wouldn't be able to take that flag at all if they had defense.
Yeah,
so I'm measuring based off of your herons.
And then imagine if my herons had to go all the way up to that flag. Then now we're talking that they might have won the game. Like the only thing they're at disadvantage of is that they have more units to kill to fully take our flag. The other problem, of course, for them is that they actually, okay, I take it all back, because they haven't even tagged flag 1 or 3 yet, so it wasn't really that close of a game.
Oh, they haven't tagged any of the side ones, huh?
Yeah, they didn't tag any of our backfield.
Oh, I honestly didn't know that playing the game live. Even live, I didn't. I thought that middle flag, number 2, I thought that was their last flag.
Yeah, so I just don't, their strat, this is the worst strat, honestly, like, of the whole match. They had no real offense to take the corners, and they do an all mid jugger at a disadvantage for a flag that they know they can't secure from us. Like it makes no sense what they did. Why, like, doing what they did, other than the only possible explanation I can think of is that Akira just did not think of a different strategy to do from the south start. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know, but
even if their mindset on the strat was like, okay, north side gets north or gets mid first, So we got to fight for that mid flag because we think if they just defend that flag, it's too powerful and we lose. Even if that was their strategy, they needed to send 2 mini flanks to each outside.
Yeah, no, you need to have some
Even if
kind
it was
of
like 4 units each, or you need something because like
something. Yeah,
you can basically concede the game type, right? If you're not
yeah,
sending
completely.
scouts and units to the other flags to even see what's there to it's flag rally, you know.
You can't do a strat where it's just like everybody goes mid and we have 0 flanking or anything like it.
Yeah, flag
That
rally
rarely
especially.
works on a wide flag rally map like this. That just does not work. You can't do a flag rally. I'll just say it quite simply. When you have a wide flag rally like this, where the flags are all evenly distributed around the map, which is pretty common for flag rally, you cannot do a one-sided strategy. It has to be 2 or 3 flanks. It has to be. Even if it's just like a very light second flank, I've seen that be viable before, but you have to have something on the second flank. You can't just do all on one side. So that was a huge mistake from them. Like there's no offense and no defense. So yeah, I mean it just doesn't work. If they had tagged those corner flags, then it would have been a really interesting close game. And defended that west, I would say. Yeah, like they needed to do 2 or 3 things, but I guess it wasn't that close at all. But yeah, what did Myrk have? Because he had a big game for us on this.
He had a Maul squad. He actually had the small Maul squad too. I think ours and Elso both had 9 Mauls each with 2+, and he had 6 Mauls with 2+. So he got that damage with the small Maul squad.
Yeah, I don't know what he did, but man, he looks like he did
was
some good hitting
doing
there.
something good, man, for sure.
Yeah. I didn't do anything other than take flags, unfortunately. But
win the game. I mean, I'm glad you had the heads up to try to play more to the original strategy, which was unit slip through. Because if you got tied up mid, fight with us,
then we would have lost.
Lose that,
We could have easily lost.
So I'm glad you continue with like the original strategy and not just stayed mid.
Yeah, and that's why you gotta think it was really good that it was me, because I had done all those strat sessions with you. This is where like having spent the time going through the strat sessions like that is a big advantage, because somebody who did not do that probably would have had a hard time making that call. You know what I mean? They probably would have been more distracted and focused on the middle fight. At least it would have been a way bigger chance of that happening, we'll just say. So
yeah.
I remember asking you like, you were so busy with the mid stuff you didn't hear me, but I was like, Asmo, you want me to go east still? And I kind of knew the answer, but I just wanted to confirm it with you. And then after you didn't respond a couple of times, I was just like, fuck it, I'm going. So.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you did for sure.
You ready for the next one?
Yep.
All right. Jungle. Oh god. This is a funny one.
I'm gonna let you explain the strats on this one. I need to grab something real quick and mute my mic for a couple minutes.
Sure. All right. So we kind of were torn between doing an all melee strat on this or getting some archers, and we did some testing for this where we knew that if we went archers, we had to figure out how viable it was to counter an all melee strat, which would have been the primary way to counter it. Is like the archers have to be super aggressive to get damage before the timer gets run out. And the only thing that you're really going to get damage on is Thrall, right? And so one of the first questions we asked are, okay, is there any where to sync Thrall on this? Because if there was good spots to sync Thrall on this that would keep them safe from archers, rest assured that we would have went no archers on this and would have maxed Thrall. And done the trade that way and just run the timer out and play for the end. That's exactly what we would have done. But there is nowhere to sink, despite the fact that there is a lot of water on this, and some of it looks deep. None of it is actually deep water, and you can't actually sink the thrall anywhere. And so, given that fact, the archers can just run the thrall down, and we tested it. It's a little awkward. You have to run around in a circle on this map, but eventually the archers do catch the thrall with about 8 minutes left on the game, which is plenty of time to start running the thrall down and picking at them. And if the archers can effectively clean up all the thrall with still a few minutes left on the clock, then the all melee strat doesn't work with max thrall. So that's why we went in that direction. I will point out also that one of the very unique quirks of this map is that the two teams start next to each other, so they have full visibility of them trading. And so you ended up in this little bit of a chicken fight, chicken war, with both teams delaying their trade and not reveal their trade to like the last like minute and a half or whatever, the PT, and then rushing to hand out units.
Yeah. Also, I guess I should give a shout out that John got all these new maps are standing. He helped me get them prepared for tournament play. I mean, he did all that, and I just gave my opinions on how I wanted it. So thank you to him.
Yeah, and it is nice to have some new maps. You know, everybody kind of, not everybody, but there's always some people that bitch about new maps done in tournaments, but I personally like doing new maps because otherwise, as a strategist, you always kind of want something new like a new puzzle to solve, right? Like, you don't want to be working on old maps that have already been done. It's pretty boring, so. So they end up getting a pretty similar trade. What's different about this? They got more archers. That's right, they got more archers and less thrall, I think.
Yeah, they got a couple more archers, and they have one more, which wasn't intentional on my end. I accidentally traded for one less merm than max, and yeah, we have extra thrall with all those points.
In general, I like our trade better. I mean, it's not a huge difference. This is by no means like, oh, they've lost on the trade or anything like that. Their trade is perfectly viable. It's pretty similar to what we have. It is probably just a little bit too many archers, though. That's the only thing. Because at the end of the day, we have enough archers to keep our thrall alive, which is the main thing. And those thrall, you're really gonna want those thrall to the end of the game. And you really want to have the timer on your side. Like, you want to be in a really good position at the end of the game when the timer's running out to play for flags, because that's the very most likely outcome of this. Because if the timer is on your side, then what that means is you can just take up a defensive position and just hold and wait and force them to come to you, because you're happy to run the timer out and play for flags at the end of the game. And that was exactly the position we're in and how we played it, and it worked out well for us. Let's see, is there anything else to mention about this? We'll just look at the assignments here again. So Argos, Eastwind, Thal. Thal gets a really big archer pack. I don't understand. Okay, I don't understand that. Why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wait.
So Thal gets
really?
an 8 archer pack.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did they have? Or did it?
And then
1,
Eastwind gets
2,
5,
3, 4,
and Argos gets 3.
6.
That is super weird.
Wait, so they got 16 archers. Okay, they got 4 more archers than us.
Yeah, it was more than it was 4. Yeah, yep.
So we got a lot more thrall than them, essentially.
This is where I would say that the squads start falling apart for them. This is a really bad mistake to do with the squad distributions. Now, granted, they were rush. He hasn't finished trade. Actually, you know what? Okay, I don't think Thal got 8. Never mind. I think they haven't finished distributing units. I think Thal's stuff is going to get split up.
Oh, that's right. Because we played chicken with the trade on this map.
Yeah. So never mind.
I don't think players still have 1%, and it's at 0. So yeah, they're still handing out units for sure.
Yeah. So you got Zur and Tirri on the Merms. I actually think that's a mistake. I would not put Tirri on Merms. I would definitely put Tirri on the archers, similar to what they had in the Temple of Light game. So I would disagree with that role assignment personally.
Their splits are a little bit different too. Their Merm packs, each of their Merm guys, so Zer and Tirri, they have 3 Mauls each with them.
I just saw that. I think that's another mistake. Like, it's so awkward to control melee with different movement speeds like that. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. They need to like redesign it somehow. Probably do what we did, which is a dedicated Maul guy is probably the better thing to do. What squad is Akira giving himself? Is he? Oh, he's got goals maybe. Okay. I don't know. We'll have to see, but
Yeah, I think so, but we'll see, I guess, as they actually get their units handed out.
yeah. I think we had LSO and a Dren on archers. I think we definitely made the right call. We started towards the end of the tournament putting LSO more on archers, just because like the way we figured it, like we had 4 good meleeers. Like our 4 primary meleeers were you, me, Ars, and LSO. But LSO is, more multi-dimensional. Like Ars obviously a phenomenal all-around player as well. But there's definitely like LSO is like one of the best archers in the game, if not the best archer in the game. So
exactly, that's what it comes down to for me. It's like LSO and Donsky are on an island by themselves. Not exactly. You could put a few other names in there, but people think of them, I think, as like 2 of the best archer guys. And yes, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, Ars isn't good at archers. He probably is really good at archers, but like there's a little tier difference there between archery and Amelie. I'd say they're very similar.
Yeah. We for us it was more. I remember LSO asking us about that, like why are you taking me off of melee? And because he just didn't. Not that he was upset about it. He just didn't. He's just curious. And as soon as we explained that to him, he's like, oh okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's like it's all about like maximizing the potential of all of your players, right? So here you have LSO is kind of like good all around player, like one of the best all around players basically, and we in a lot of games we only need 3 meleeers. We don't need 4, right? So it's like, okay, well, how do we can set up one of our archer guys to be very dominant too, and so that's the role he played, and I think it really worked out well for us in that. And ours did, except for not defending a Dren's archer that one time. Ours is meleeing throughout this tournament, and particularly in this game, we're going to see it. His positioning and decision making and judgment in general is always like phenomenal with melee packs. It's rare for me to find a player that I really like their positioning and decision making with melee packs. I'm like super picky about it, and there's like very few players that I'm happy with about it, but ours is one of them. Like he really does a great job on the melee packs. And yeah, so just shout out to him, and I want to point that out about his performance in this game in particular when we see it. But I think that's all I got. You ready to start it?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Game on.
And I think something early on that sort of plays out the trades when we link up with other team and see that they have 4 more archers than us, because originally our strat was like to run down their slow stuff with our archers, right? Like they're hunt down their thrall and stuff, but we immediately identified that 4 archers than us, and so we didn't completely change strat, but we're like, okay, we're not gonna push into them with that disadvantage. We're gonna play it slow and get a good position.
That's a very common pattern, by the way, is like you always, well, in this one we saw that we could see their trade right away, which is very unusual, but a very common pattern is the first 2 minutes of the game, you just like what we saw in Temple of Light really, is usually the most important piece of information to know is how many archers or souls did they get, because that usually tells you basically everything else about their trade. Like, that's usually the biggest thing to count.
Capture.
So we knew already going into this right away that they had 4 more archers than us. So already
Flag
we're
captured.
approaching this with the mindset of, okay,
Flag
they got more
captured.
archers. That means the timers on our side, they have to try
Flag
and
captured.
engage and be aggressive with their archers to get value
Flag
from them.
captured.
Otherwise,
Flag
we're at
captured.
advantage at later in the game. Already, I don't like the hits that Tirri is taking with his Myrm pack with the archers. It's like completely unnecessary to take that damage.
I didn't realize originally it looks like one of their archer packs was flanking the opposite way. So they were going to skip their archers initially.
Yeah, I saw that too. I think that kind of goes to their mindset in Temple of Light a little bit. Actually, it was 2 archer packs. Look at that. It was Thal and
You're right.
Naracoorte.
Yep.
Flag captured.
So this kind of like betrays a little bit of their mindset with on light maps. They constantly are looking to split up, and that's in general. I mean, I'd almost say it's a rule of thumb that on light maps you're gonna get some number of archers, and they're almost always gonna stay together. Almost always. So you kind of saw it on Temple of Light how they split up. That was a mistake. They corrected the mistake here, but the fact that they were already kind of like prone and having a tendency to make that judgment, that decision, is bad. And we saw this kind of from them throughout the tournament. Their team, on more than any other type of map, light maps was their weakest, for sure. In fact, I'm not sure if they won a single light map against us.
I want to point out something real quick. They have archers, or not archers, they have ghouls flanked behind our main force already. Normally, those positioning with ghouls would be amazing, but Myrm's hard counter ghouls. So if ghouls get caught in your backfield without melee support, and you can just click a Myrm on them, that ghoul automatically dies after, I don't know, 30 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, it might be a minute or two even. Doesn't matter. Yeah, they do die, yeah. Yeah, so that's a good call. So Akira is really trying to harass with goals from behind. That was actually a huge mistake. And they ended up losing several goals throughout the game early because of it. So here he loses a goal. Right, one goal gets run down. I'm already like chasing down the other 1 or 2 goals that are
He gets a dud plus on that death, which is very unfortunate for them. Gives us an extra big plus on them.
Right. I think we do pick it up if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we do.
I'm telling our archer guys to not be aggressive at this point. Like, I do not want to push. They actually had a kind of a nice hill too, so we would have been pushing up into a hill anyway. But like their team actually is making a big mistake in not being more aggressive right away. Like they're moving way too slow. Okay, they lose another goal to LSO's archers, and it also duds. And now I'm chasing down another goal in the north. That one might get away. I'm not sure, but in any case, like flanking these goals around was a bad idea on this because of the Myrms.
They essentially lose 3 big pus, and we gain one of those big pus. So it's a massive swing actually. We're basically up 4 pus right now.
They did pick up one of their pus again, but that goal is now red. Okay, right now.
Okay.
Yeah, they did pick up one of them again, but
I thought the flames blew it because that's what they tried to do. I didn't know they ended up getting it again. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, the goal had to grab it through their own fire that they threw on the pus. Okay, right now they're getting aggressive. You see Tirri moving up pretty aggressively. At this point, I think I'm right around now calling for our team to pull back and retreat. I don't want to engage them. I'm trying to run the timer out. I don't want to force our archer guys to fight into a disadvantaged archer battle. It's unnecessary.
So we have a dual call right now, which is actually like I feel like one of our strongest points of communication we had throughout the match is you notice we're disadvantaged archers and you call the retreat to that northeast island. But I also realized that on the backside they're pushing us in, so I don't want our full army getting caught up in that island and just having them pin us there and win the flag game. Right. So we make an adjustment on the backside that we need to push them out, so we're not going to get pinned. So it was like a double call that worked out really good for us.
And I'm usually not overly concerned about getting surrounded in that way with this much time on the clock because of that. Is because you can always the advantage. There's actually an advantage to being surrounded, which is that you can pivot in any direction and push out of it, right? So that's what happened pretty clearly here. We end up pushing out of the west side. Pretty clean retreat. I think Adren took a little bit of damage on a pus shot, but he took no follow-up damage. I think I missed. I didn't show it, but I think I chased down another one of their pus goals on our mid flag. So they're down like 4 pus at least, I think, right now. Still 5.5 minutes on the game. I'm starting to. Okay, now here I'm chasing down the goal now. Okay.
Flag captured. Flag contested. Flag captured.
So that was Monty's goal. Okay, we got a pretty clean retreat. So now Adren and LSO are in position. Again, I think there's another mistake on their part. Is they should not have allowed us to get that retreat off so cleanly. You know what I mean?
I don't think they know what they want to do right now because they have the archer advantage, but you see like Eastwind retreating defensively with archers, and then he keeps on going back to offense. He keeps on going back and forth.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
To figure out what to do.
Yeah,
right now.
they're confused. Yeah. Actually, I would say Naracoorte is the only one that really knows what needs to happen. They're making the right moves right now. I mean, they're trying to set up. Look at this. They're trying to set up a 3v1 surround on LSO in the Northeast. He's literally fighting 3v1. That's so wild. This is a wild fight. I gotta watch this.
Flag captured.
I mean, credit to their archers. They're getting really aggressive with 4 minutes to go. I mean, and they have to be. Like, 4 minutes is not a lot of time. Actually, they really wanted to be making this move at like 6 minutes left, at least.
Flag captured.
They're actually already way behind on time, to be honest. This should have been all done like 2-3 minutes prior. LSO's doing a phenomenal job defending this.
Flag lost. Flag.
Adren is able to support him a little bit from the high ground. I guess Eastwind's kind of blocked out because he can't really move through that choke very well. Yeah. So it's kind of a little bit of a 2v3 maybe. LSO is able to back up into Adren a little bit to get more support. Myrk throwing down. Okay, he gets a dud. It's unfortunate.
Captured.
LSO and Myrk, really good use of their thrall. Really good use of their thrall to control this archer fight and buy time. You know, if they start getting pushed back too much, they're using the thrall to force them back more to get their position back. Myrk and Myrk getting some good dwarf support for our guys. Myrk should throw on those dwarves. There he goes.
Flag contested.
LSO is just so tough to fight. His archer line is just so wide. I actually have been tempted to make mine a bit wider to follow his because it's so annoying to deal with.
On the west side, you see the lines on the map. I tell ours to dive in their backfield, and I'll just stall their push so that we have tag threat on their backside. It also takes a lot of their melee out of a potential offensive position and puts them back on their side of the map.
Flag.
Yeah, I'm basically, you and ours are kind of like shadowing at disadvantage against Tirri and Xur, but it kind of frees me up. I'm completely unaccounted for. And now I'm leaking in their backfield.
Oh, yeah, you have free tags. I didn't realize you were that matched on that side.
Flag.
Yep. Because you and ours are kind of at disadvantage, right? They got bigger squads than you on both sides, but I'm just completely unshadowed, so. And I was almost going to surround and reinforce our northeast, but it was a really good thing that I didn't, because I didn't really have time to finish that fight anyway. And apparently I was completely not needed there anyway, because LSO and Adren just dominated that fight so bad.
Flag contested.
I actually don't know what happened. How did Naracoorte lose their archers? Because he was they were the main push there, right? So.
Yeah, I guess I think he just lost the archer fight to LSO.
Flag lost.
They probably realized that they had to be way more aggressive.
Captured.
And, you know, I don't know. I guess Argos and Thal, you know, I will say Argos is definitely their weakest player. That's a bit of a weak link for them, but
flag captured. Flag captured.
I don't know. I'm definitely surprised
Flag
that Adren and LSO did as well
1
as they
minute
did in that
remaining.
Archer fight. That was a really tough fight for
Flag
them.
captured. Flag contested.
Even Myrk, look at this.
Flag
Myrk
lost.
pushing back
Flag lost.
Eastwind's Archer squad
Flag
with the dwarf
contested.
throne. That's pretty
Flag
pretty
lost.
cool.
It looks like you detached them a few merms too, which
Yeah.
helps them get those
Flag
archers clumped.
captured.
Oh, did I give him? I must
Yeah,
have.
he's got 2 merm, or he did. One of them died, but looks like he handed a few off before you went
That's all he
tagging.
needed.
30
That's all he needed to
remaining.
counter those archers. Yeah.
Flag
Yeah, that's a really nice push by Myrk actually.
Flag
There. That's
lost.
crazy. Man,
Flag contested.
it's shit like that. I'm just proud of my team. Like they took a really tough fight there and just dominated it like
Flag
without any help.
lost.
It's crazy.
Flag captured.
Yeah, the Northeast played that as well as he
Flag
could, really.
lost.
Yeah, Northeast won the
Flag
game for
contested.
sure. I mean,
Flag.
we might have
contested.
still won even if it hadn't gone
Flag
as well
contested.
because like it's a pretty dominant
Flag
game for us in
contested.
general. But
Sudden death.
I could have contested here a bit longer, but I guess it didn't matter.
Flag.
Ours and I
lost.
could have fought Zur here and probably won, but
The Southwest, too.
contested.
just to get a little bit of a fight in. But oh well.
Game over.
Yep, Adren and LSO, big numbers for them that game. Really impressive fight for them. Yeah, in general, again, their team has always struggled on these light maps. Again, the pattern in this match was Akira getting a little bit too many archers. Not like unbelievably too much, but just always like a few too much, like 4 or 5 too much, right? And then also just not knowing how to really use them. Like even if you were going to get those archers, not really knowing how to use them most effectively. The light maps are just killing them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, our Archer guys have massive games, you can see. Yeah, them and the Dwarf guys, they just had like the right Archer Thrall Dwarf synergy that you want. Dwarf guys protected them from any potential melee threats, and the Archer guys just went to town.
Do want to give a shout out to Myrk. I think really Myrk had a really impressive tournament overall this year. Maybe the best year I've seen from Myrk. I don't know. Maybe ever. I don't know. Is that too bold of a statement? I don't know. But he had a really, really good year this year for sure. And this game in particular, we saw. Well, he had a big one on Axe to Grind too. Like I don't know. He just had a really solid match so far.
Yeah, he played well. So I guess the score is 3-1 now.
3-1, yeah. So already like kind of potential game winning or match winning, tournament winning game here on the next one. I'm loading it.
I don't
now.
know what Monty was on. I don't know what units he had. He had 1 loss, 0 damage.
On the last
I
one.
understand. Yeah, I understand why Zero only had 3 damage because him and ours were just shadowing each other and never fought. I know Monty wasn't on a Myrm pact. I don't know what he was doing. I'm not sure what happened with him.
Let's look real quick. So, Thal's archers got split up again, right? I'm pretty sure they did. So Eastwind was it? No. Okay, who? Because remember, Thal had too many archers in the beginning.
Game on.
Okay.
Flag
Oh, it was Naracoorte. Okay, Naracoorte got the. So they had 1, 2, 3, 4 archer guys, and Monty was not one of them.
He might have been on a door squad in that Northeast and was maybe never able to get into action. We'll see. That would make the most sense to me, I guess.
I think you're right. I'm not seeing him yet.
Flag.
Oh, he has 1% right now. What does he have?
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah.
Him
I've
and
seen
Akira
that now.
both have 1%, so I guess they just have
Flag.
ghouls. They had 2 dedicated
Oh,
busters.
that's a
Is that what they have?
huge mistake. That's a huge
They're
mistake.
basically playing a 6v8, this guy.
Yeah, that's a
Flag.
huge
Because
mistake.
even their dedicated
Flag
busters, they
captured.
lost like
Flag
majority of those units at
captured.
the beginning. Remember,
Flag.
like
Right.
Interpacto was in the Myrm, so yeah, they put themselves pretty much in a 6v8 situation in this game.
Wow. Yeah, Monty has 1 goal. I remember it was Monty's goal that picked up that putt stud that they lost earlier in the game. That almost got flamed out.
Flag
What?
captured.
That's a terrible mistake. I really hope to stop seeing this. This is a mistake I've seen. I think Ratking used to make a lot of this kind of distributions a lot. I remember from him where he'd have like either himself or him and another player like very tiny unit sets. Don't ever do this, guys. Don't ever give unless you're admitting that player is like a complete liability for your team. That's the only way I would ever do something like that. Monty on 1 goal makes no sense, and then Akira on like 3 goals or something, and on a map where the goals don't need to be microed like this. You know, it's not like I don't know, Baron's Venice or something. You know, like it just makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah, no, that's a good call. I did not notice that he had nothing. I thought it was a dwarf squad too, but did not notice that at all.
Yeah, they gave some of their archer guys dwarfs, which is fine in some situations, but when 2 of your players have 1%, that doesn't make sense to me.
Do you think is there any chance that like
Flag
he was so
captured.
rushed in the trade
Flag
distribution
lost.
because of the chicken war, like that
Flag
he
lost.
just he thought he handed Monty
Flag
his
captured.
squad, but he didn't, and he forgot or something? Like I don't know. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait for an answer from them, but I guess that would make sense if that messed them up.
It's interesting. But then the next question is, why didn't anybody say anything? Like,
especially if you're the person with that 1 unit, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, granted, Monty is a pretty quiet guy.
I got 1 goal. I got 1 goal. I could do a little bit more.
Yeah, I would have expected even Monty to say something, even if he is a quiet guy. Like, I don't know. That's wild. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess that kind of helps to explain a little bit why our Northeast did so well too. I mean, they were a little bit handicapping themselves because they definitely. Let me tell you, if they had put 2 more players on that Northeast fight probably would have went different for us. You know what I mean? Like maybe we don't like lose it outright, but it definitely would have been a much tougher fight for sure.
You want to go to game 5?
Oh yeah, I've already loaded up. Sorry, I paused at 0. Do you want to talk about the strat and trade on this, or?
Sure. So if you're looking at our trade right now, the only unit that you don't see that you can trade for is souls. We just figured king of the map. The map is massive. It's spread out. The artillery is all strong against that. Locks and dwarf heroes are strong against the souls don't really make sense here. So we decided to go with a max artillery trade minus souls, and we did something like that's different than what people usually do on FG maps. Is usually you have dedicated FGers, but we mixed the artillery with FGers, and the reason for that is because usually FG are strong and can be like aggressive sometimes, but like against dwarf heroes, locked, and big plus all on the same map, it's like if you get aggressive, you're basically asking for your FG to get pussed or shot and die. So we did a 3-prong with our short side, so to the north, if you're looking at our army, being like the little bit more heftier push. And so we put about half our artillery. I know Dak loves that artillery word. I'm going to keep on using it actually on purpose now. And about half our other one to the west. And we were just going to basically do a slow push and gain position and fight for flags. And Okay, I guess the important part is one of our FG we're gonna be going that north flank, and the other one was gonna be me, who's clogging mid with the FG, a dwarf, and like a few spiders. And so we weren't playing for mid at all, other than they just clogged that up so they couldn't leak in our backfield and stuff like that.
I wonder, what do you think? Do you think having the FG stand on that middle bridge is the right call? Because I feel like you couldn't really do much with it there anyway. I mean, I wonder if actually we should have just put you west and just had like somebody with a pure hold force on that bridge.
Yeah, I mean, I think ours had the right idea with as the game goes on. Might be my worst game I've ever played in a tournament, but ours sort
You
of
broke
just
up. What did ours have the right idea of?
he had the similar squad to me. He had an FG, a dwarf fighters. Oh shoot, yeah, my mic's cut out for some reason. And he got split up in different positions in the map at some point, where his FG had to be somewhere different than his artillery. And he, he distributed his units because it didn't make sense for him to be in two places at once. And
Mm-hmm.
I think my squad would have been fine, but I needed to be like, okay, I can't be watching these two plays. I need to give this to someone else. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I think you're right. Maybe if we just send the FG in the West, and I honestly don't have an FG at all, and just one of those guys have an FG, that would have made more sense.
Yeah. Did we make a mistake by tying down the FG with dwarfs, you think? Should we just have dedicated FGers? I don't know.
Turning into that situation where you needed the FGs to not have the dwarfs, like ours handed off his dwarf, and I suicided because I didn't, so maybe, yeah.
I mean, their FGers are dedicated FGers. They got souls. What did they not get? They didn't get thrall. Okay. Well, okay. What do you think about that too? Do you think the souls were
I
better
like
than
our
the
trade.
thrall? You like ours?
Yeah, I like our trade. I feel like the map's just too massive for souls. It's too huge. Locks are getting souls. It's one of the few situations you max locks. I mean, really, the souls aren't good against anything on this map. Yeah, I don't
They
know.
did use them a little bit decently in the north to just one soul on hills near flags as, a contester, essentially. That was kind of annoying for me to deal with. But I did end up cleaning them up. I asked for like a couple spiders. I think ours handed to me, and I ended up cleaning them up that way. So that they're just like kind of difficult to defend as well in that situation because not just spiders, but there's also FG. That
Yeah.
you're gonna easily clean them up. I don't know. I think our trade is good. I do wonder if I'm torn about the FG honestly because I do feel like I do think in hindsight I would have put you on the west. I think if you're gonna have an FG dwarf squad, they gotta be a mobile FG dwarf squad, and like having you stuck on that bridge because nobody else is there to hold it kind of ties you down unnecessarily. I would have put you because then what you could have done is like flanked real wide in the west to get like some pressure, some side pressure, or backfield pressure or something like that. You know what I mean? So I think that's probably what because the one thing they did well in this game, maybe a bit better than us, is getting in our backfield earlier in the game. They had like an early lead. We only kind of got back into the game later. Not to give spoilers, but so I don't know. And we'll have to see what happened, but I think they had like double FG pressure on us in the East or something. I can't remember. We'll have to see, but I do think their trade and strat here is perfectly viable. Even though it's a little bit different than ours, I don't really. They went max locks and dwarfs. That's the main thing, and all the other good melee, and their squad distributions are good. Getting some souls is not the end of the world on this. I think it's fine what they did with the souls, especially they did make decent use of them as like contesters. That was good. Let's see, what do they and they put Naracoorte and Zur on the FG. I like that. I do like that. Although the only downside of doing that is those they could also be your better arty players too. Like, so that's part of the reason, the thinking too for us.
I'm surprised East wins not on FG. If I'm being
yeah,
honest,
that's a good.
That's a good
point.
I think I'd used East Wind and F on FG, and I used Zer and just like artillery roll here.
I'm gonna disagree. Actually, I agree with you about Eastwind. I actually would have done Eastwind and maybe Monty on FG. Monty is not not too bad. The point though that I'm trying to make is I don't think I would put my best players. Zur and Naracoorte are for sure their best players. I would not put my best players on FG. I mean, that's why you don't see
not on a dedicated FG, not on this map.
No, and that's why you see what we did. I mean, we got you and ours. Like, LSO is on dwarfs. Has he got just one dwarf? Okay, he's just got one dwarf. And then I took double locks. So, we're not putting like all our best players on just the FG because the arty fight here is actually pretty important. So, you ready to start it?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Game on. Flag captured.
Yeah, there was a slight flaw in our strategy on this. I'll wait until we actually get point of it though.
I definitely don't like how they got an early lead on us.
Neither team gets a extra big plus, just small plus for everyone. From the whites blowing.
Flag captured.
Well, the early lead is probably from them having those two mid flags,
captured.
I'm guessing.
That's part of it. I feel like they got earlier
Flag
pressure
captured.
kind of on our east and a little bit in our backfield on each side earlier in the game too.
Flag captured.
Yeah, I'll wait to talk about that until it happens.
Flag captured.
That's where I think the flaw in the strategy was, but wait.
Flag captured. Flag captured.
Ours getting some early pressure on them right away. I do like what he's doing, but you're going to see them counter kind of in our backfield. I think ours does retreat to
yeah, he retreats and starts to cover the FG that goes in our
starts
backfield.
Actually, he's not retreating yet.
Flag.
I feel like the FG are going to be more effective on the wide flank, where you can like abuse the mountains, at least in the north side of the map. I really wonder if we should have like doubled FG on the north side actually and had one go wide on the outside, something like that. I feel like an FG in the far north would be like super abusive. Wish I thought of that earlier.
Yes, so here's the flaw right now. So they get that heavy mid, right? And I pull out the FG, the shadow on their FG. And so my little mid force, I'm like in two places and I don't have like good sight on their mid since I pushed out of the fort. And they send Dwarf Heroes mid, and so they leak out Dwarf Heroes through mid on those side pass to get our backfield. That's how they got our backfield.
Well, and we should have had one person. Like, I don't know why we didn't have one person defending that east.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was the flaw. Maybe it was just lack of communication going into the match that one of the guys should sit on the island right there and cover that spot.
Yeah, I mean, we got four players up there. We just need one player to hold that damn flag.
Exactly. Yeah. I just need to communicate that more, I guess, going into the match that someone needed to watch that.
I mean, I feel like we shouldn't have needed to communicate that. I would have expected our team to be able to handle that without us having to say so. I was closer to it than you were, so if anybody, I should have caught it. But I was so focused on getting wide pressure in the north, I just was not focused on that. You're gonna see me get an early pick off on Eastwind here as soon as I engage him.
Yeah, so this is like where I make a massive mistake because that dwarf and Myrk are in our backfield in the east, and we don't have like anything chasing it down that's gonna catch it.
Yeah.
Flag lost.
So I make a decision like I'm
Flag
doing
captured.
nothing mid. I'm gonna pull out the
Flag
FG because
lost.
West said they're okay if I let their FG go on the West.
Flag
Because I'm gonna go slap
captured.
that stuff so we don't just lose the flag game.
Contested.
Yeah.
That was the intention,
Flag
but we'll see.
Rat does get a good dwarf shot on Akira's dwarf.
Yeah, I
It's
saw
red
that.
now.
I actually
Yeah,
don't know
no,
why their
we definitely
Myrks
need to
are
clean that
staying
up,
there in
though.
the east right now. Their Myrks in the
Flag
east should be diving
captured.
into our backfield and stealing all our flags right now. They should not be protecting the dwarf hero.
Flag.
You're
captured.
talking about Akira's Mercs?
Yeah, they should
Yeah,
be diving and taking all our northeast and back flags,
Flag
which he starts to
lost.
do now, but he should have done it a bit ago.
I also...
Flag captured.
I mean, I guess ours is too... He doesn't want to get pussed. That's why he's
Flag
not chasing
captured.
down those Mercs. But he has...
Flag contested.
I don't know. I just wonder if ours could have
Flag
dealt with that
contested.
Akira squad somehow.
So that's actually what I'm doing right now. You see my FG going that way. I click on their Mercs. I'm gonna go kill their Mercs with my FG. That was the idea.
Right.
I
Flag
stopped
captured.
looking at it and I started focusing on my other units. I didn't realize that Akira had a freaking ghoul with those Mercs,
Mm-hmm.
Flag
which is really bad.
captured.
Oh, by the way, there was one thing I wanted
Flag
to tell you,
lost.
too, is
Flag
in the
lost.
recording with our comms I watched, you seemed overly concerned
Flag
about
captured.
Xur pressuring our west, where like Adren and LSO are at. What I would have done is literally just handed them your pus goal and not worried about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where you get pussed.
Flag captured.
So now we're down
Flag
FG.
lost.
I'm getting some good pressure in the north. But yeah, I really feel like we could have killed Akira there somewhat. Like you and ours needed to like double that up, you know, or something. Yeah.
Yeah. If we doubled up, we wouldn't have to worry about pus, and that they could pus us, and they would still lose that fight.
Yeah. There's definitely a
Flag
good double
contested.
opportunity there.
Yeah, the good thing that's happening right now for us is you're getting that
Flag
behind
captured.
position on them, so they're sort of like surrounded, and you're stealing flags in the north.
Ours cleaning up their northwest too. He just picked off their soul, a couple of spiders. Ours is doing a great
lost.
job playing the game type
Flag
as well.
captured.
Like ours is
Flag
controlling shit on the other side of the map too. I mean, his FG is on the other side of the map. He's controlling spiders in the northwest. I did ask him for those spiders, and he hands them off to me later anyway. But the fact that he's thinking about using the spiders to get that backfield pressure is great. So.
Flag.
Rat's doing a good job with his lock. He got a show on the FG, took out one of their big boss. So
Flag captured.
he's doing good against those double FG right now, even though he probably dies here.
I don't know why ours is being so scared there. I don't agree with how.
Flag.
Oh wow.
Ooh, I mean he could have easily got pussed there, but I don't know.
5 minutes remaining.
What do you want him to be doing with the FG right now?
Flag.
I feel like he could have engaged with those thrall
captured.
somehow. He would have had a run, but at least he would have got some hits off. And like
Flag
he had a puss. They had a puss too, but he had a puss.
Flag
I don't know. Like it was a tough fight for sure, but I just feel like it was a little too.
Flag.
Like
lost.
he's almost like
Flag.
giving it up before he needs to. Kind of. I don't know.
Percents are close right now. They're up a little bit of percent. Or just barely past them in flags
Flag.
about a minute
captured.
ago. Pretty
Yeah,
close.
they got
guys.
this annoying soul in the north that Monty has.
Flag captured.
Took me a while
okay,
to kind of
so
clean that up.
Lost.
Yeah, I had to ask ours for his spiders to finally clean that up because it's kind of
Flag
holding me up
lost.
unnecessarily right now.
Flag lost.
Yeah.
Flag captured.
Looks like LSO had a big game too.
Flag lost.
I don't like how our
Flag
lockers in the west are all clumped up. Like, I would have flanked some of those locks around. I mean, was it Mark? Mark's okay. Mark's
Flag
got double locks
captured.
and a Dren, but I don't know.
Flag
Like, I would have tried to
captured.
flank those locks around a little bit.
Probably have to be the single lock to flank it around. To the west, you're saying, right?
Because the way you pressure dwarfs on this,
Flag
Adren just got a nice pick off
Yeah, I
there.
saw that.
The way to pressure with locks on dwarfs is you got to get a good flank on them so they
Flag
can't,
contested.
especially with double locks.
Flag contested.
Can't block them both then.
Flag lost. Flag captured. Flag lost.
Yeah, this
Flag
was a
contested.
really tough. This was the closest game of the match, I think. If I'm not
Flag
mistaken.
captured.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
Flag
I do like that ours stayed alive. He's still alive. That's good. That's
Flag
what ours
lost.
Ours is very good about
Flag
that.
contested. Flag captured. Flag lost. Flag captured. Flag
Tirri
contested.
is getting a little bit surrounded
Flag
here. I
captured.
think I was trying to set up a pinch with Myrk.
Flag
Myrk was
contested.
not. He had a different idea, I guess, and he
Flag
went kind
captured.
of wide north.
Flag
I thought he was
lost.
going to be further south to
Flag
surround with me at this
captured.
point, but
Flag lost.
if Myrk was right behind them, right here, we would have cleaned that up really hard.
Flag captured.
Almost killed all the souls. I mean, Myrk with double dwarf heroes should be able to handle that one
Flag
lock at this
captured.
point by
Flag
himself.
contested.
So
Flag
I think I leave him.
lost. Flag contested.
We're getting we have
Flag
really great map
contested.
control actually right now.
Flag lost.
Really like how LSO went mid. It's a good call by him.
Yeah, this point,
The,
yeah, for
the,
sure.
the team is actually doing a really great job playing the game type,
Flag
honestly.
lost.
Because
Flag
yeah, I
lost.
mean, you had the
Flag
unfortunate loss of the FG was definitely put us down
Flag
a bit.
contested.
They kind of
Flag
dominated
captured.
us a little bit in the east
Flag lost.
on our side of the map. That was like their strongest position kind of the
Flag
entire game,
contested.
pretty much.
Flag
So
captured.
that and like
Flag
middle maybe.
contested.
But, although
Flag
also retook middle
captured.
now.
Flag contested. Flag
We're up
lost.
a couple minutes,
Flag
3 minutes
contested. Flag
and we're up in flags.
captured.
I mean, the game's already over. I would say at this point. I think we were a little too worried
Flag
about it. Like
contested.
we thought it was close. Like with 30 seconds left, I was
Flag
like,
captured.
I think we won the game actually with about a minute and a half
Flag
left.
contested.
So it was like already won.
Flag captured. Flag lost. Flag contested. Flag captured. Flag captured. Flag contested. 30 seconds remaining.
Ours and Zur finally duking it out.
Flag.
Oh, and ours gets
Flag
Gotta
contested.
get some stats.
Flag contested. Flag contested. Flag captured.
our west finally.
Flag contested.
Oh no, that's
Flag
Othello's still
lost.
alive. Okay, I was about to say I thought our west finally won that fight. I guess they kind of did. So that was Mark and Adren. They had a pretty long drawn out battle there, but they finally won in the end.
It was pretty even across the board. You had the big game for our team, and then other than that, it's pretty even across the board. Other than me, who, but
Yeah, and Naracoorte had the big game for them with the FG. It was
he must have been the one that got the damage on me when I got frozen.
Probably, yeah. I think Akira got some of the damage too, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, who else? Ours had a pretty good game too. I was nitpicking him a little bit, but I really like that he had the man. It was really great that he had those souls in the northwest. Actually, that was pretty clutch that he
The
he put 'em up
spiders,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, that was great that he thought of that. Like most players would not think of that. So, and if he didn't have him up there for me, I would have had a much harder time with the souls up there. So actually, those two spiders got a lot of time for us. Let's see, we won with a fair amount of time, but probably a good few minutes of that time. We won had one with about a 7-minute advantage. Probably a good few minutes of that was just from those couple spiders. So I would have literally never. Well, I wouldn't say never, but I wouldn't have been able to leave that middle north flag like at all if it wasn't for those spiders. So I would have been like totally tied down. Probably would have lost a lock to the soul or something if it wasn't for those spiders. Eastwind had a rough game. I think he misclicked early on when he was fighting me. That's the only thing I can think of because he kind of ran into a lock shot really quickly. I guess you could say that that's a flaw in the squad distribution that they had, which these are the kinds of things you need to think about as a captain and strategist especially when you're reviewing film from your team, is like Eastwind had a bit of a blunder there, probably a misclick, and that is somewhat correlated to the fact that he had both a lock and a dwarf. Kind of tough to control both. It's a little trickier, right? He leaves room for more mistakes to happen, right? So
Yeah, the series ends up just being 5 games. That ended up being 4-1. We didn't finish the last 2 games, so that was the finals.
That's really unfortunate. I just want to say, like, it's poor sportsmanship, honestly. Like, I really hope that hasn't happened since like 2005, I guess, right? That the games didn't get finished. Is that right?
I mean, yeah, 2005 was the worst. The finals didn't get finished at all, like not even the original series. But yeah, I honestly don't remember a finals where people didn't at least play out the best of 7, even if a team had won before them.
Yeah, and I'm not blaming their whole team for it. I mean, it was obviously Akira, primary culprit there. But I really hope that we don't make a habit of this in future years of just like rage quit. Like, we're all here just to get the fucking games in. I don't really give a shit about like winning or losing winning is fine and all, but it's not really about that. So like, who cares if you lose? Just get the games in. And
in
the tradition,
the moment,
right? It's all about tradition. So
in the moment, it's a lot better. I mean, it's still like disappointing to me, but like people don't see it from the perspective like the last 2 maps were brand new maps that never been played before. So I was working with people to get these maps out for the finals, and those people put all that time, and they put all that time that they don't even get to see the reward of their being played. That's the frustrating part about for me.
Yeah,
Multiple
that's a good
things,
point.
but that's the main thing. It's like I got all these people invested in helping out. It's like, okay, for what,
Yeah, you
so
got
that's the big thing.
You got map makers that prepared these maps to explicitly to be used in the MWC finals. You got you as the TO who's organizing this shit, spent the time researching and picking these maps. Then you got captains and strategists that spent the time reviewing and planning for those maps. I mean, you got to respect everybody's time and effort that went into this shit, So yeah, that's a good point. I do hope we can refrain from doing that again in future years. I'll just say that. Like, we all plan to spend enough time to finish the 7 games. Just finish them. Like, don't.
I've been on the opposite. I've been on the opposite side of the beatdown. I forget what year it was, 2022 or something.
Yeah.
I was a part of the biggest finals loss ever.
Yeah.
I think we had 6 losses and 1 tie, and we still played out like all the games, and I was on the receiving end and just getting beat down.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta take your punches too. We all do. We all take our punches. It's part of competition. So, yeah. But otherwise, that was really disappointing to not finish those last 2 games. I'll be honest. Likely we were gonna win those 2 games too. I think. So one of them was a tro map. We were gonna do another 3-way tro split. Now, granted, we did lose the first game. But in general, I think was I going to be the mid thrower on that one? I think I was.
You were the mid thrower.
I think we win. I think we win if I'm the mid thrower. No shade at you, but like I really think the mid thrower is like the key component that has to just like. I think I understand how like the same thing was not going to happen on that game. So we were probably going to win that. And then what was the other one? Oh, the fucking Thalander. That's so shitty.
Oh,
That we play that.
that's the map I wanted to play the
That's
most, to be
so
honest.
unfortunate. Yeah, that was a good one. It's too bad. Yeah. We probably were going to win that one too. Light maps, again, they always lose the light maps, so whatever. I just wish we could have played them. Even if we were going to lose them, I wish we could have played them. So, as far as next year, well, hang on. Before we talk about next year, okay, let's talk about hindsight. Did you, LSO, and I teaming, is that too much? What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I think it is. I mean, I think
Okay.
I think it worth doing it 1 year because I mean, like we've never done it before, right? I mean, me and you, we haven't even teamed like 8 years before this year, so it's like, are we never allowed to team together? I think that's wrong. So I think every once in a while is fine, but yeah, I think us three probably not being on the same team is probably better for like the competitive spirit of the community and getting better finals.
Yeah, you're probably right. Even though it does put more work on each of us, but yeah, for the community. So talking about the future, there's some talk of a potential invitational. Is that right?
Yeah, it sounds like in the near future there might be a 6v6 invitational. We haven't really discussed all the details of it, but yeah, something coming up for competitive MF.
And this will likely feature UI and LSO and some other fourth captain potentially. I mean, you were talking about maybe 3 teams, but it's gonna be 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean,
like that.
Akira, if you want to captain a team, you can be the fourth captain.
It doesn't have to be Akira. It could be Donsky or somebody else. But I mean, we can work the rosters however they need to be. But I think the general idea is LSO, Asmo, and I, and potentially a fourth person will captain the teams. We are all going to get together and create the rosters to make them as fair and competitive as possible, 6v6. And we're just trying to get good games. That's it, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the idea behind the rosters, if we're able to get this going, is it's not like a pure draft where we're just trying to pick equally based on skill. We're aware like people's relationships and some synergy, so we're trying to get like some type of synergy with those teams, that the teams we're forming make sense and they're teams that people would want to play for.
And it may foreshadow what happens next MWC. I'll just say that, because we may end up having similar teams next year. Okay, one last thing. Do we have time to go over the Bar Valley film real quick?
Yeah, we can do that. Funny enough, my 2 favorite strats of this Mithril Cup wasn't even a finals map. It was the Bar Valley and it was the Shattered Earth one that we did.
The Shattered Earth, that's right. Yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah. Let me try to find this damn Bar Valley. But yeah, like I just wanted to go over this one because it's more of the classic example of the 3-way tro split strategy, and this was like the best execution of it so far. I finally found it. Let me know if you're able to find it.
It's we'll find around 4, I think, right? That's when it was played.
Sounds right. Yeah. I think
Oh,
so.
you already had the film downloaded?
I have it. Yeah, I have it.
Gotcha. Let's see. Yeah, I'm downloading it now. Funny thing is, we're featuring this film to show the strategy game we lose.
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that too. But I mean, everybody can see though, like how dominant it was up until the point that we lost, right? So
Okay, I just need to open this now.
I'm getting to 0 PT.
All right, I got it open.
Okay, I'm getting to 0 PT now. So,
And before you explain whatever you're going to explain about the strategy, I would say it's just like with any 3 trial split strategy, I think it becomes even stronger the more space there is on the map. So the bigger the map, the better it
Game
becomes.
on.
yes, that's very true. It's all about the map control. I'm at 1157. If you can get there. One thing that's unusual that you'll see about this trade right off the bat is you only get 2 fetch, which is super unusual for Barb Valley. Usually, basically always, people max fetch on this, right? Which is 8. It's up to 8 on this. So the reason for that is, and we give one fetch to each soul pack. They're basically just there to act as like a mild rush defense and also particularly spider defense for the souls. Fetch are great spider defense, so that's why you get just a couple. You get less on this because you're really leveraging a bigger melee advantage across, trying to stretch the opponent out across the map with more melee, and ultimately you only need just enough arty on this to force the enemy melee to spread out. That's it. You're not trying to enter into any kind of arty fight whatsoever. You're not trying to arty fight anything with this actually. And you just, even with the morts or fetch, you just need at least one, to just force the enemy melee to spread out. That's what gives you the Cho arty effect. That's it right there. Like, if you force the enemy to spread out, now think about how much more effective your Cho are, right? So that's why you can get away with so fewer arty on this. Again, I'll just briefly reiterate the general idea here. You do your 3-way, because again, this is flag rally, nice and spread out. This is actually even better than the CTF game we saw in game 1 of the finals, when you got flag rally, because now you really do need to control the corners of the map, right? And so you get this nice pressure on all 3 fronts, which is conveniently right where all the flags are at, right? And it's very disorienting and confusing for the opponent, because number one, this strat hasn't been done very much before, and certainly not done well the few times that it has been done. And if you haven't really planned for it or thought about it in advance, anticipated going up against this, you're really not going to know what to do. And that's you'll see that's exactly what happens in this particular game, because this was the first time. Was this the first time we showed the 3-way tro split? I think it was in the tournament.
Oh shoot! We did the going to town 1-2 in the same match. I don't know if we played
Oh, gotcha.
No, so we played that before Bar Valley, but it was in the same match, so it's sort of hard for anyone to prepare for it. You know? All
right, so going to town and this were I think the first match. Those are the first 2 games where we showed this, right? So, so again, the way I explain this to you in LSO for how to execute this is, well, number one, as I mentioned before, the middle guy, he really has to be super defensive and just make sure he doesn't get rushed down. It's all about keeping the enemy tro away from their arty. Like that's it. Like, and if they if they want to flank, then you force them to run as far as possible to as far to the edge of the map as possible for as long as possible, right? And if they do that, they literally don't have enough time. They either commit to killing something really far on the edge of the map and taking way too long to kill it, and probably taking way too much damage killing it too, because they're going to do it without arty support.
And they're going to also feel the pressure to engage quickly because they realize they're somewhere far on the map, not around the game type at all.
Exactly. And they're either going to commit to that fight and lose based on being too far out of position, because the other rest of the other 2 fronts are going to be ready to counter right away. I mean, that's the whole point of this. Is like, all three of your guys know that no matter where their tro go, wherever their tro go, that person runs and defends, and the other two guys are countering as hard and fast as they can, right? Like that's the whole point of this, right? And as long as the middle guy, he's camping in a defensive position, so he shouldn't be able to get rushed down. It seems scary. It seems scary to only have one tro and to be defending against three. What's that?
One thing to add on to that, when you talk about counter, a counter doesn't necessarily mean like going to link up with your other tro. Like a counter, you want to counter punch, So like,
yes, exactly.
If they sent 3 trow north to kill our single trower up there, we want our other 2 trow mid and south putting pressure on them. Like you almost never want to be reactive. It's like, oh no, they have 3 trows in the north. Let's send our trow out there, because then you're behind. Your
Right.
counter punch, your reaction, you want to be aggressive, not defensive usually on a counter.
And the game type guarantees that you can do that, right? It guarantees that you can counter via the game type to end the game immediately before the end of the game. Like if this was territories, I probably wouldn't do a 3-way tro split on territories. I probably wouldn't do that, because now it's much more like a BC fight, and like now they could take the time to go rush one end of the map and spend a bunch of time up there, and as long as they hold on to one flag and don't get flagged out, they can give up the whole rest of the map. Doesn't matter, right? So territories doesn't work, but flag rally, king of the map, CTF, very viable for those. And the way I was explaining this to you and LSO for how to execute this is, number one, you see their tro coming in whoever's closest to their tro is the one that's running away, essentially, right? And for the flank guys, they run towards the as far to our side of the map and as far to the edge of the map as possible to get them as out of position as possible. And you get them to the edge of the map to get them out of position, and you get them to our side of the map to force them to take longer to get to you, right? And you also just really want to make sure that their arty cannot link up with their tro. That's the other thing. So you got to kind of gauge like where's their arty pieces at too, not just their tro. As long as you die at the edge of the map, close to our side of the map, then they will be guaranteed to take too long to kill you. And as long as your tro should engage with the rest of your melee, but your tro should engage in such a way that your melee takes all the damage first and you run the tro away at the end. So at the end of the day, they end up doing a 3 tro rush. They take a bunch of damage on their tro to kill some Zerks and Mauls and maybe 1 or 2 arty pieces. Look, we don't even have that much arty, so that they don't even matter, right? And they can't finish a tro, then they didn't really get much of a win out of that engagement, and it took them way too long, and they're way out of position now, right? So that's how they lose the game. So you literally, it's a rare instance where, especially on this map, where you literally can't, you don't have enough time to, if it's executed well, you don't have enough time to actually finish killing the thing that you want to rush down before the game is going to be effectively over, right? That's why this works. So you'll see us, we got 2 soul squads here. I think we send 1 middle, one south, our north side. Sometimes every side doesn't have a soul squad, and it's unfortunate. Like that just means that side's a little bit weaker, but it still works for the most part. In general on this, you still pick 2 flags for flag rally. You still pick 2 flags, which ones you want to defend. And for us, it was the middle west here and our home. Those are the 2 flags we're defending, because there's some nice soul hills kind of in between there to defend them, right? And yeah, we're the other thing too is the middle guy. If he gets rushed, you want to pull them again as far to your side of the map and to the edge of the map as possible to force the enemy arty. They either are forcing their tro to engage without arty support, in which case they take way more damage, or they force to wait for their arty pieces to get all the way in position, which are going to take forever to run that far. So this is all about positioning. If you can understand this strategy right here, then you will basically master the fundamentals of positioning in Myth. Like, positioning is everything. This is like the most like chessboard pieces moving type of, you know, a metaphor applied to Myth as any strategy you can think of in Myth. So all about positioning here. So with that, I think that's about all the setup I need to give. I'm at 11:57. You ready to go?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. There's one thing I really want to point out on this is how passive you're going to see me play middle. I'm going to play middle super duper passive, and also you're going to see me. You don't hear the comms, but you're in the comms of this game. I have Myrk as the Mort guy with me. You're going to see me. You would hear me calling for Myrk to retreat like constantly, because most people playing mid on this, they just don't understand how much further back they need to be than normal. Like, they need to be way further back than normal.
Flag
on this, like I said before, the way you want to play this as the middle thrower is whoever your arty guy is, you want him to be way behind you at all times. He needs to be able to run all the way back to whatever flag he's going to defend. He needs to be able to run there and get there before the enemy tro reach him. So that's how far back he always needs to be. So here I'm already backing off. I think I'm gonna call for like Ars to get on the Soul Hill. Like,
yeah, and Xur starts to run north here with his 3 trail, which is the right counter if you're the team with the non-split. You need to make an aggressive move ASAP.
Yeah, I actually don't know why he didn't follow through.
He starts to make a good decision, but he hesitates and pulls back mid. At that point, they're just way behind on being able to have any chance to.
He should have 100% gone. Yeah, he was going to make the right move. That was the right move. He should have went straight for that flag too, and then straight for our home. That's what he should have done. He should have played the game type, went straight for flags. But yeah, he hesitated hard there. He would have made it much more difficult for us if he had done that. And he actually would have killed a Dren pretty quickly. But you can see, like, if he had done that also, like, you're already taking their backfield. Like, look how fast we're taking their flags. Like, it's crazy, right? But Xur needed to do the same thing to us. That's what he had to do there. So here, you see how, like here, I'm already calling Myrk to retreat. Like, he's way too far forward. Already Myrk is way too far forward here. Like, you see how their fetch and Tro are combined middle? This is super dangerous. We barely got out alive. Like, I was calling for him to run his ass off because I saw how dangerous that
position.
was. We barely got out here. We barely made it out of this. It was very easy. We could have gotten rushed right there. But now we're pretty safe.
Our souls were in good position. I thought the
souls are in great position.
They probably get rushed right there.
Flag captured.
So we barely got out of that. That was kind of close, actually. So we actually should have stayed back a little bit more than that. But
they got VI 3 minutes into the game.
Yeah, super fast VI. Super fast VI. And now they're fully surrounded. Like, literally, all 3 Tro have a full surround on their middle. Like, this game would already be over if we were able to tag middle. We just couldn't tag it. So now they're forced to defend middle, which is not a great flag to have to defend. And so again, if you're Xur on this as the middle Troer, you have to figure out a play to set up a Tro fetch combination somewhere. Like, and he's not anywhere near his fetch right now, which is a mistake. He needs to set up a Tro fetch push somewhere. I mean, Tirri's talking about defending mid flag, but it's already VI. That's the only flag to defend, and you don't have VI. We have VI, so they have to actually set up an offense. Here you see the Monty making a good play here. He makes the right move. He's playing for flags. He ends up getting that tag. I'm gonna end up trying to pick him off. Xur has to, again, like, their fetchers need to set up an offense. They should already know at this point that they need to set up an offense on flag 4. So they should be moving into position to get flag 4. You can see how nervous their RD are to move away from middle. because of the pressure that you're putting on them from behind, right? They just don't want to leave, right? But ultimately, they shouldn't be defending that with fetch or Morts. They should just be defending it with souls and melee. Like, you just have Zerks and Tro. Their Artie is not going to do anything against that. They may like maybe one Mort just to force your melee to spread out, but that's like the most Artie I would leave on that D. Again, another mistake here by Zur, leaving his fetch. You don't ever want to leave your fetch as the Tro. And he's almost getting trapped here. He's going to take some Soul Spears for his troubles. I mean, he does go back. Okay, I don't know why his Tro want to go further south. Okay, he's trying to get high ground for his fetchers. Now that makes sense. But I mean, he didn't need to take that Tro damage to get that. We were going to give it to him anyway. So okay, so now they're setting up their Tro fetch push. That's good. Oh, they split off Tro. Homer has a Tro now. Zer's being too aggressive here with... Oh my god. Something just blew up in their face. I'm not sure what happened there. This is the game's already kind of over. They can't... They're trying to rush before I return, but I'm already there. And they're having to... Ultimately, they should have taken their time pushing this position from the south side away from our Soul Hill. They have a good position here, but they didn't... Tirri needs to be up there too. He wasn't there yet. So it was a tough thing for them to push into regardless, but yeah, this was really well executed for us. I mean, just really dominant on the flags. Even a Dren is still alive, getting a good surround in the back. I mean, they're just completely surrounded. We're calling for a rush here, and then you see like Myrk. I'm slightly ahead of Myrk, so I thought Myrk was going to stay on the flag. A little miscommunication there. Shit.
Oh, man.
So yeah, but anyway, I that was like the really classic execution of it. Just wanted to explain that to everybody. I mean, because you're going to see more of it. You're going to see me do a lot more of this, I think. Curious to see how people try to punish it. You know, we'll see. I think on some maps, this is definitely one of the better maps for it to work on. And that going to town one is probably the best map I've ever seen for it to work on, honestly. But there are some maps that are less advantageous, some game types less advantageous for it. So it definitely is not like a guaranteed always going to win. Definitely heavily dependent on execution. But it's very viable, I would just say, on way more things than people realize or expect. So expect more of it from me, and I hope to see some better counters and defenses against it in the future, I'll just say, because this game in particular, like, it really seemed like they didn't know what to do with it, right? So
yeah, I guess one of the big things to execute it well is that 3 people on trial sort of have to have an understanding of the strategy and how it's supposed to work, because and like the trial
airtight comms between each other too, like constantly calling for where their Tro are going, and that's the main thing, where their Tro are going, and where their Artie support is too, like just being always aware of preventing their Tro to link up with their Artie and getting a good engagement on somebody. So yep. I definitely, man, I really liked what Zur was doing there in the beginning. Really surprised he didn't go for that, because that actually would have been a great play for him to make. Just go ahead and pick up that flag. He would have got a clean kill on a Dren right away, and then he probably could have... I would have defended him from taking our home, but it would have been a difficult defense for me to make, because our souls would have had to been right on position for that, and I'm not sure if they would have been in great position for it. So that would have been a tricky defense for us to make, but yeah. anyway, that's all I had. We can close it up there. Is there any closing thoughts before we wrap it up for the day?
Not really. It was a fun Mithril Cup. Thank you for everyone who participated. Yeah, I mean, my main thing is like to Akira. Like he shows himself things as a captain. Just keep on learning, keep on putting effort. You know, if you willing to learn, you'll get better. You're definitely showed a lot better stuff than many captains have.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think a tougher mindset would help. A lot of this is a mindset thing, and I'm always willing to help other captains that want to learn because this game needs more captains, honestly. So, I mean, uh, we don't have to be like best friends. Like we can help each other. Like we all enjoy the game, and we all want to see the game, the competitive side of the game, get better. So open invite to anybody who wants to captain and get better at strategies, shot calling, etc. I have a paper that I've handed out to several people. If people don't already have it already, it's a very good read. It'll explain a lot of things on the trading side of things and some of the execution as well. And then there's other things I can help with in terms of like film review, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, LSO, Asmo, and I will try to make a concerted effort in the future here to organize some more teams and get some better competitive play and keep explaining more of these concepts and learning the game better. So that's about it. We'll leave it there, and hopefully there's an invitational tournament coming up in the not too distant future.
Yep.
I'll leave it at that. All right, take care, everybody.
Have a good night, guys.